How's it going, everybody? CJ here, and we got Jason, we got Ian, we got Sam. We're talking about the ban list right now, Commander ban list, and we're going to start off by talking about that recent banning of Flash. So, for those of you guys that don't know, Flash was banned due to cEDH implications with Protean Hulk. Very strong combo there. And yeah, it kind of fucked a lot of cEDH. So, we're going to discuss that.
You're 0 for 2 right now, aren't you, CJ? Got two main competitive EDH decks that have been just destroyed by nerfs.
My cEDH decks. Main card gets banned. First Paradox Engine with my Sisay deck, and now Flash with my Hulk deck.
That was rough.
That's because you always build tier 1.
You gotta build tier 3.
Tier 3? Yeah. Panza inside Commander.
They'll never hit Brago stacks.
Mono Red Panza? Yeah, I like it.
Drevy's safe.
What are you guys' opinions on this
Yes,
banning?
exactly.
What do you think about it? Sam, let's start with you.
I like it. More than the ban itself, I appreciate what this means coming from Sheldon, someone who has, up until this point, been so openly against banning things for the sake of power level, as opposed to, what it does to casual tables and what it represents as far as diversity is concerned.
That's a good point. Yeah, he has been very adamant against it. He did tweet, though, afterwards that they're likely not going to be doing any more bannings based on power level. However, that they already set a precedent that they will do it. So if needed, it could be expected. Ian, what about you? What do you think?
I like the ban, but I don't like the way that they did it. I don't like the fact that they were like, it took so much like complaining by the cEDH community for them to finally make one change in their favor. I think that that there should probably be a separate ban list for cEDH so that they can make bans faster without having to like complain so much. Or maybe there should be more people who play cEDH on the rules committee. I don't know. It's kind of weird to me.
Both of those are very valid options. We'll talk about the separate ban list idea later, but I like the idea of putting some people that play cEDH on the rules committee because that seems to make a lot of sense. That's still a sizable portion of the commander population.
Like 2% Jason, or something.
Yeah. I mean, there's enough people. Most of us have cEDH decks.
And they're the cEDH community is much more vocal than everyone else. So they complain a lot more.
Yes, we do. Jason, what do you think?
I personally really like the ban because I could just be biased because both the deck I play and EDH are a lot stronger now because Flash is not in the format. But I think that Flash was like such a factor in like when you're playing the actual game because most competitive lists ran a Flash package. Like most of the tier 0, tier 1 decks revolved around the whole Flash because of how strong it was. Just to just get Protean Hulk out and done with it.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree that it probably should have been banned, even though I was playing it. I mean, it's just an unbelievably strong combo, very, very hard to interact with. And yeah, I'm a little disappointed that I got to rework my deck, but luckily it was other combos in that deck too. Ryan is really, really screwed because his entire deck revolved around it.
Yeah, he's sad.
Yeah.
He's just ready to quit.
Yeah. Oh, it's a little brutal, but
I think it'll be interesting to see like what will replace Flash.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what becomes the
Oracle consultation.
Yeah, consultation.
Can the current decks that like played Flash just like switch out immediately, or do they have to switch the deck up?
I mean, I had consultation already in my deck.
Yeah,
most decks were playing.
It's probably better for you then.
Yeah, because of how strong it was.
I think Necromancy could end up seeing a little more play because that can work similarly to Flash, just not as efficiently. It's the reanimation spell that you can cast at instant speed, and if you do it at instant speed, you sacrifice it at the end step.
Yeah, it's in my cube.
It could be an interesting. It's harder though because you need to like get Hulk into your graveyard. It's definitely not nearly as good, but I'm gonna give it a whirl because the.
So you think Hermit Druid might see more play?
What?
Perhaps. So you think Hermit Druid might see more play? Maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, I could see.
It's a great
that.
way
I
to just
mean,
dump things into the yard.
I'm keeping Hermit Druid in the deck.
Mhm.
Hermit Druid was like the combo after Hulk came out. Like my deck ran with Hermit Druid, Torch Courier to give it haste, Wild Cantor to pay for Hermit Druid, and either Grand Abolisher or Thassa's Oracle, depending on the situation.
Mhm.
And then Flash Hulk into that to go for the win.
Do you think that cEDH might become even more graveyard centric because of this?
I could easily see that. I mean, the amount of consultation is definitely going to be the big card. Like, it's going to be the next
sure.
boogeyman in the format. Kess is probably going to
Mental
become
misstep.
much more powerful.
That's going to be key.
Mental misstep. I mean,
It's
I'm
already
already
like
running.
decent enough.
Yeah, I'm already running stuff like Stifle and Tails End to counter the Thassa's Oracle triggers, which would be very
Tails
funny
End,
to get off.
underrated.
Yeah,
I kind of like Trick Bind more than Tails.
I love Trick Bind.
Trick
I
Bind is
run that
great.
in the deck
Yeah,
too.
you're right.
All right, I think that's enough about Flash, though. It's a big shakeup for the cEDH community, and it's going to be interesting to see how things play out. Let's quickly talk about Lutri, the little companion guy. Just
I think we're all
he-
pretty much on the same page when it comes to that.
yeah, he definitely needed to be banned.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I agree.
just added an extra cost to playing Commander for no
Mhm.
reason.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean it was an auto include for any deck that has blue and red, no matter what. Like, there's
As long
no
as you had
reason not to run it.
literally, yeah, even if it was just a vanilla 3/2 with Flash, I think it
Yep.
still would have been justified to ban him.
Even if it was just a vanilla 1/1 for 10 mana, that it's just a free card. There's no reason not to run it.
But if it like,
Yeah,
let's say it
mana
wasn't
one would
banned.
be stretching it.
There's
If it
no
wasn't
reason
banned,
not
how
to
do you
run
think-
it.
That at 1/1.
If it
I
wasn't
mean-
banned, how do you think it would have affected cEDH?
Every single deck that had
cEDH?
blue red would run it. I don't think
Yeah,
it would affect.
there's
I
no
don't think it would
downside to play
actually.
red for
I
it.
don't think, yeah, Lutri wouldn't be like archetype defining or format warping or anything like that, but just it would be incorrect to not include it if you're in
Exactly.
blue-red.
It's just an extra card in your hand.
Do you think decks would be 5 colors that were 4 color before just to have red?
I could
think it
I could
depends.
see people maybe going Kenrith instead of Tana Thrasios.
Thrasios.
Maybe Timna Thrasios.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe.
Well, I don't know, because well, at that point you're just exchanging 2 cards for 2 cards.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, because you're getting rid of one partner.
And Tana's definitely better than Lutri.
I mean, maybe there was maybe a resurgence of like Timna Crom because then you could do
Is it
9 cards in hand.
Double wheels.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 cards in hand.
That's Opus
Oh.
Thief, right, or something like that.
Yes, Opus Thief is usually.
Or
Crom
Thrasios Bile Smasher, one of my favorites.
But does a 3/2 really matter that much in cEDH? Like,
No,
I
it's
don't know
just
if
an
I
extra
play red.
card.
Having the option.
A
Yeah.
3/2 doesn't matter. Yeah, it's the options available.
Yeah, just,
But I
it's
don't think
literally
they would
just
splash
an extra
red.
card. I don't think a cEDH deck would go ahead and splash red for an extra card when they probably would be eliminating having an extra card to do so.
Yeah.
But I feel like in casual formats, there's no reason not to include. Like in casual EDH, there's no reason not to include it. Like Locust God deck should run it.
Mhm.
Test deck should run it. Just any deck that has blue red, it's wrong not to run.
Exactly.
Hmm.
In that sense,
I
we
think-
should probably give credit where credit is due to the RC for acting as soon as they did,
Yeah, like
rather than letting things fall apart before.
exactly. I saw the banning before I saw the card spoiled.
I wish it was almost more restrictive because like if he was even like mono red, because red could use some help.
Yeah, I mean if he was mono red,
Well, actually,
Uh,
not that makes it less restrictive, but something that made
yeah.
it more restrictive. I mean,
like I don't know. If he was
I don't know how
Boros,
they
he'd
would
be
do that.
fine.
yeah,
If he was Boros, he could be legal.
yeah, that would be interesting if they gave Boros something so busted that like
It can
Well, I
be
think what they
playable.
tried to do with the Mardu experience commander, because when we were first introduced to experience counters back in 2015, the weakest of 5 were the black white and the red white ones, and they just tried to sort of meld the two with the Mardu. I forgot what the name of it was. CJ will probably
With
just
Kelsey
like
in?
post it. Yeah, Kelsey and that one.
Yeah.
And then when Ryan tried them out, it was just
Yeah,
underwhelming.
unfortunately, that
Hmm.
game didn't get recorded well, but
Oh,
that
no.
deck, Calcium puts in work. Calcium can
Maybe I'll
put in
try
work.
to assemble something for them and figure.
That's the
That'd be
ping
cool.
one, right?
I'd like
Yes,
to
the
pick
ping one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think would happen if, like, for example, like, because Lutri is it, if they had a companion like Lutri for every single guild? Because every deck can only have one companion. Because
So
It would just make
You're
the
thinking
programming
like a
more
threat.
expensive.
yeah,
so you're implying that there would be something as powerful for each individual color pairing, Jason? Or
yes, and every deck can only have one companion, right?
yeah,
It's kind of like playing with two commanders. Like every deck has two commanders.
But then you're
sense.
forced to
think it-
have it. So what's the
yeah.
point?
yeah,
And
it would be rough to ban
homogenizes
10
the
cards.
format. It'll homogenize
Yeah.
the format. Like
I don't
if
think it'll.
I mean, if every deck, if they had a color one for each color pairing, other than monocolors, every deck would run whatever companion they could because why
Yeah.
not?
I don't even think it would homogenize the format. I think it would just make the decks be exactly the same, but why not play it? Like it would just be an added card for no reason.
Yeah,
Like the same deck would stay the same, but also play it.
I just think the condition for Lutri should not have been made, and probably shouldn't be made and definitely shouldn't be made in the future. Just the singleton condition. But it's really disappointing because boy, do I want Elemental Otter as my commander.
Yeah. That was my biggest frustration about the entire thing. They made one that had to get auto banned in Commander, and it happened to be the one creature type that I was looking forward to most in this set.
They have
I
more
know.
others. They have
Yeah,
more
there
others
are more
like-
others.
They have
But you
more, but
can't-
it's just a matter of principle.
You can't do Otter Tribal now unless you do Morophon. It's disappointing.
Yeah, very sad.
Mhm.
But it's good that it was good. It was good that it was banned. It had to be banned.
Definitely. All right,
So
now
what do you think of now, like commander, like commander, like you like shifting your deck to play companion? So, like the whole
I
companion.
like the other
mechanic.
companions a lot. The ones that
Yeah.
actually have a condition. I think that's a really, really cool idea because deck building restrictions can open up a lot more possibilities.
Like
For
when I
sure.
played Luris on the channel as my commander,
As
Yes,
It
Lewis
wasn't-
has been seen.
it wasn't very good, but it was fun. It
actually think
it
that-
probably could have been built a lot better, but
for sure. I think a lot of them will just be better as individual commanders than as companions.
I agree.
though.
I commented on that in most of their like little deck text first thoughts videos that I did. Most of them would
Like
be
that's-
significantly better
Yeah.
just as a commander.
I think it's
Because I
obvious in
think
some
in-
cases. But
I think in like constructed formats with like where you start with 7 cards in hand, adding an 8th card makes such a big difference. But in Commander, when you kind of start with 8 cards and you go to 9, I don't know if it
makes
really
less
makes
of a
as much of a
difference.
difference.
it's
Plus, it's your 8 cards versus 3 other people's 8 cards, as opposed to
That's true.
your 7 cards to one person's 7 cards.
Especially because commander is a slower format as well too. So like the one extra card is not gonna make much of a difference.
Yeah,
Which in like constructed, I feel like having one extra card in like 1v1 like pretty fast format is going to possibly like I don't know, maybe it could help aggro decks because they usually tend to run out of resources very fast. Having that one extra card like might help them. I don't know. We'll have to see.
And
A
I think
cool
that
idea-
like,
what?
sorry, what were you saying?
Just a cool idea for a restriction would be a companion that's something like not really a deck building restriction, but more of a in-game restriction. Like it's in your companion zone if you're on the draw, as opposed to on the play.
Like a gemstone caverns.
I
Feels like
guess, yeah.
Hearthstone. So you're thinking the coin,
Or maybe, like,
basically.
or one that like gives all your things -1/-1 or something like that. It's like an aura effect
Yeah,
for the
ooh,
entire game.
Yeah, that would
like
be
an illness in
interesting.
the ranks stapled to your companion.
What's the name of that one? All your creatures cost 2 less, but they get -1/-1.
Heartless summoning.
Heartless
Yes.
summoning, yeah. In the
That'd be
in the
cool.
companion.
That'd be cool.
Interesting.
Like an eminence effect. Like at least like the reduction effect wouldn't be an eminence
A
thing, but, like,
negative eminence
you get what I
effect.
mean.
Yeah, I got
that's
you.
interesting.
I actually okay. That's cool.
That-
Like
yeah,
companions
yeah,
aside,
like
that would be an
negative
interesting
eminence.
commander.
Instead
effect.
of
Yeah,
like a deck building
negative
restriction, just a negative eminence and a very strong card.
eminence.
I think they should definitely explore eminence more. I think that's a really cool mechanic.
I
Mhm.
definitely
they
think
bring
I think
that
it
back.
could be a little bit too strong though.
Yeah, I
Like-
think making it a negative as opposed to a positive could make the cards a lot better. Like the cards
For sure.
themselves when they're in play.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool if companions a deck building restriction, like affected the play, like you said. I think that would have made it
Like,
more balanced.
yeah, you can make a commander that like drains your life every turn, and then it gets stronger once you hit a certain threshold. Like as long as you have
Yes.
20 or less life, it gets +5/+5 or something weird like
That'd be
that.
cool.
I don't know.
Reverse Sarah Ascendant.
But we are getting very off topic considering we're talking about the ban
You're
list right now.
Yeah.
So let's go into cards that are currently on the ban list, and we're going to discuss whether or not we think they should stay banned, shouldn't be banned, and basically just that's what we're going to be doing.
They got a ban charging badge.
We're going to
Easy.
start off with, we're just going to go down the list.
Or cEDH format? Like,
just in Commander, because it's all one format. So
like in like a sense of mind.
yes, in the sense of being legal in all of Commander. Like, should it be legal in Commander, period? cEDH or regular EDH, either way. Because we'll talk about cEDH later, but not each card specifically for it. But we'll start off with, we're going to go right down the list. Start off with Ancestral Recall. I think should stay banned.
Probably stay banned mostly because of a price thing. I think that most things on the reserve list, like they would just spike if they were taken off.
They definitely would spike, but I do not think that price should put a card on the ban list. I think that's a terrible.
But what if
way
it's
to get
$50,000?
It sucks that like the
Ian,
first thing that comes up is the price and how that's
Yeah.
the first thing that comes to mind when you're talking about something like this. I hate that that's the position that we're in.
like
That we have
Ian,
to consider that
if
when
you
we talk
had
about
an
whether
Ancestral
something should be played or
Recall,
not.
if you had an Ancestral Recall or Mox Amber or Mox Opal or something like that, not Mox Jet or something like that, it's like super expensive card, but you didn't play Vintage, you didn't play Legacy. Would you want to be able to play it in Commander?
I think that.
And do you think?
I don't know. I just think that Ancestral it would be the Soul Ring. You would have to put it in every blue deck, and it's just
I agree.
so
That's why I think
expensive.
Ancestral in particular should stay banned. I don't think it should
100%, I
stay
agree.
banned because of the price,
agree.
though.
Like
So
I
should
think
we
that
add the
cards
stipulation
that should always be in your deck should be banned.
Yes.
Solar
Other than,
So to this conversation,
other than like
Sorry, go
mana
ahead.
rocks, because ramp is very key, and green has a huge advantage over all the other colors because of that. And there's no you can't really have mono white mana rocks or like mono white mana, mono red mana. Like there's not much of it. So you kind of need stuff like Soul Ring and Mana Crypt and those to be in the format to counteract green.
I agree. I see that. Yeah, but I think that like instant includes should just stay banned. Soul Ring should probably be banned, but like Ancestral Recall, the Moxes, I think they should be banned.
We'll talk about the Moxes in a bit. I definitely think Ancestral Recall should stay banned.
Agreed.
All right, so it looks like we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
Next card I'd like to talk about is Balance.
is it though?
I think the card's too good. I think the card's
That's an
too good.
interesting
Like,
one.
See, I've never played with it. That's the thing, and I've never really been in a position where I played even against similar effects. So
I'm putting it in my Commander queue because I want to try it out. I think it's very, very powerful. I don't know. This is one that I'm really on the fence about because I would love to see it being legal and I'd love to try playing it, but it can go on Isochron Scepter.
No, it can't.
I think
Isochron Scepter only instance.
I thought it was a sorcery.
Yeah.
It is a sorcery.
I think the biggest
Okay.
part about why Balance is broken is because, like you said, like those
Sunforge.
mana rocks in EDH. Like everyone deck's playing like Soul Ring, Mana Crypt. Like
Exactly.
I don't know if you ever play against Balance, but when someone plays a bunch of mana rocks and balances, and you discard your hand when they have a bunch of mana, like it's a bad
That's what-
feeling.
It was going through my head. I was trying to figure out what people would do to break Balance in the format, and I realized doing that turn one would suck. People already get pissed off when you Winds of Change turn one. Imagine what happens if you make them discard 6.
That's
and
true.
They haven't even drawn a
Yeah, it
card
would definitely be its
You-
own
you
CDH
do have
deck.
yeah, so cards like Balance, I feel like I wouldn't actually see play inside of a casual format. Like that would probably only see play
That'd
in a
be rule
competitive
zeroed
format.
immediately.
Yeah.
I feel like Balance is kind of like White's Cyclonic Rift. It's just like
If it was
destroy
7
your
mana,
opponents.
if it was 7 mana instant speed,
Exactly.
totally should be legal.
But like the effect is so similar.
It is.
It's the Cyclonic Rift kind of puts your opponents back or puts them on your level. Balance literally puts them to be the same as you. So I feel like it's so similar in a way.
If they
Unless you're
were-
mana rocks.
Yeah,
if
unless
they
you're
were to
mana.
reprint like a card like the same text as Balance except higher mana cost, I think it would be a much more fair card. But being 2 mana is a little ridiculous. I'd say ban.
It also doesn't
I'd say
affect.
stay
It also
banned.
doesn't affect enchantments, which is notable, I guess.
That is
If you-
notable.
And planeswalkers.
Yeah,
Super Friends would want it.
I would
Instant
say
speed it
a
with
lot of
Little
things.
Teferi.
I'd say tentatively stay banned just because of the fact that I really want to play it.
I think it should be banned. I think it's
Yeah,
because
I agree with
I've played a lot of CDH, and like the amount of times I see people go like 3 rocks in turn 1 and have the mana to balance is, I think it's happens like what do
Disgusting.
you expect? I think it's
Yeah,
what
it
you
wouldn't
expect.
be. It wouldn't be fun. That's for sure.
It's
and
hard
if-
to
we
need at least
counterplay
one-
that too.
We need
And
at
if,
least
like-
one white card to be on the ban list too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no other good white cards.
And if the rules
Exactly.
committee is going for like the whole ban things because it's fun, not because it's powerful, balance is not fun.
That's true.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later because I've got comments on that. We'll talk about that after we're done talking about the ban list specifically. Next card though is Biorhythm.
Whatever, dude.
It's fine.
It's like
It should
it's fine.
totally be
It should
unbanned.
I think it should
Yeah,
stay
I think-
banned.
You think it should stay banned?
Like I don't want to just like lose the game when you hit 40. Like
You
8
don't want to
mana.
lose the game
Like-
at 9 mana.
I guess shaman. What's the shaman that does the save effect?
Summon of the
I don't know,
Ancient Way or
forgot-
something like that.
Forgotten
Wave?
Wave or
Wave.
something.
Yeah.
That is in the format, and that's pretty similar.
Yeah, and it's
So maybe Biorhythm could be unbanned.
Biorhythm
me-
does less than a lot of cards that are cheaper than it.
I mean,
And you could,
instantly killing all your opponents is pretty good.
well, it doesn't instantly kill your
I mean,
opponents, but for the
they said
same
the
mana
creatures.
cost, you can tooth and nail and twine.
Yeah, but if your opponent has
Biorhythm's
no
8 mana,
creatures,
not
they
9.
lose the game
Oh.
instantly.
For almost the same mana cost, you can tooth and nail and twine and instantly win the game.
That's true.
Well, with
I don't know.
Biorhythm, it's not an instant win unless you can make sure your opponents have no creatures on the board.
But you have
I
to show
feel
you
like
have
probably
features at the
stay
same time.
banned, but I could see it getting unbanned.
This is one of the cards that
I
I
think it should
definitely
unban.
think should be unbanned.
I think at 8 mana, like there's so much more broken stuff you could be doing.
Exactly.
Expropriate. It's just 2 mana more.
Yeah,
and
expropriate is win the game.
Hmm.
So we got 3-1 for unban here.
I'm staying with my vote, but
You've got
You guys can say what you
Convergent
say.
Ultimatum is another one at the same
Next-
CMC.
Next up, I think that we're all going to be on the same page here is Black Lotus
Yeah.
to stay
Like,
banned.
Like, nah.
stay banned. I agree.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Hot
just
take,
a little
stay
bit.
banned.
Braids, Cabal Minion.
I think
Ian's
that
gonna have
could
an
be
opinion
unbanned.
on this one.
Braids
I
can
love-
get unbanned. Braids
love
can get unbanned.
Stacks is
As long
great.
as we ban Mana Crypt at the same time.
Ooh.
Like
I
What's
mean,
it called?
that's because of the price of
And
Mana
or
Crypt.
Dark Ritual.
Because of the price, Dark Ritual is
Dark
different.
Ritual
but
ban?
Because of the price of Mana Crypt, it
That'd be an
probably
insane ban.
Braids is most scary at a more casual table, and
Well-
Mana Crypt is not typically going to be seen at a more casual table. Like,
Well, my point is that Braids, if I'm correct, was banned in the first place because of the threat that it posed if you landed her on turn 1 or 2. Because if you landed her that early on, you would just shut everybody out of the game. Period.
that's fair.
And
What's
that
the difference
doesn't
between that and a
change
Winter Orb, though?
because a Winter Orb lets you play
if
stuff.
if you can remove the
But-
Winter Orb, then you're no longer affected by it. If you remove Braids, you're still affected by her effect.
I don't know.
My point is that
Like,
if you like,
I-
so if
I
you
really
have Winter
like
Orb, you can at least you at least get your land drop if you play Winter Orb. If they have Braids, you don't get to play anything. Period.
That's
like you
true.
just don't have permanence.
I mean,
Not just
Hokori
Hokori
is not
Braids,
popular.
Though.
Hokori,
Yeah,
the
that's not
Dust Drinker?
popular.
And then
Yeah.
I'm saying that's fundamentally different from how Braids
Yeah,
operate.
because
With
Braids,
you don't
you're-
have permanence.
once
With
Braids
Hokori,
is
you
gone, there's no permanence still. Hokori,
Yeah,
once
exactly.
Hokori's gone, your land's on tap.
Hokori
Braids, you
just
don't
slows the
have them.
game down. Braid prevents you from playing. Period.
Yes,
And that's the
Braids is
reason
just
why
a
I
mean
should ban.
card.
Like I
Hokori's
think
pretty
that
mean.
like Braids could be fine because like if you think about like the player playing Braids has to find a way to keep her on the field, right? If they want
Yeah,
to.
that's very easy though.
And
You
I
bring up
guess,
a
like,
fair
just, like,
point. If
making-
cards like Contamination are fine, then Braid should theoretically be fine. But,
I feel like Sam's just been burned by braids too much in my cube.
The worst part about Braids is the fact that it's in the command zone.
Yeah. we
But
could make a division between having something banned as a commander and banned in the 99. Then I think she'd be fine in the 99. But
I
not
100% agree
in
with
the
that.
command
We're going to talk about Band as Commander later on in the video
Mhm.
too.
They should just reprint braids as a companion. That's better.
Ooh.
There it is.
Companion, nothing in your deck is black.
Nothing in
think-
your deck can make tokens or something.
Yeah, nothing in your deck can be a colored permanent. You got
I
that.
mean, I think Braids is totally fine if she's not being played at a casual table, because that just would
But
be
that encourages
brutal
on like
for-
what
I
is
think
the
that's because
philosophy of
both
the ban
play.
list at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's more like
What are we going for?
it's I don't know. It's just
Which I think is another discussion that we should have
Yeah,
later on in the
the thi-
video.
the thing is, a
What
lot
should
of
be the
these
spirit of
cards,
the
like
ban
if
list?
Braids was legal, I don't think you'd see her at a casual table. I think you'd only really see her at a higher power level table, like my Lavinia deck power level table. Like, I don't think
I don't
you'd see a casual
The
player
Grand
bringing a
Augustin
Braids deck.
decks at casual tables, you see a lot of people just assemble these things that are
That's true.
fundamentally unfun. You see Narset at casual tables,
That's
even if
true.
it isn't
That's
just
true.
a turns or extra combat deck. I
And
think
Yeah,
people
Grand
would
Arbiter is pretty
inevitably
similar to
build.
Braids.
I mean, Ryan would play this at any table.
Okay, I don't think
Mm.
Ian knows what Braids actually does.
Ian, you know what
I mean,
Braids
it
does?
slows them. It slows down your opponent enough that you can get a immeasurable.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Ian,
flat out stop
Ian,
your opponents
let-
from actually playing the game.
Let me read you Braids just in case you don't know.
I know what Braids
exactly.
does. They stack a land or a creature or something on their.
Exactly. And if
Think
you get
about
if you get Braids, turn 2, your opponents can't play the game. Period. But
Yes.
Grand Augustin, things like that, they just slow your opponents down.
Yeah, Braids.
I-
Early Braids is game backbreaking. Like,
Mhm.
that's a very, very fair point.
I agree with that. But I
Like,
think like, as the
imagine you
game gets
balance
later,
every
Braids gets
turn.
weaker.
Yeah, it should probably
Braids-
stay banned.
I'm kind of leaning more towards the stay ban now that I think about it more, because she
I think
is
it's
very,
unbanned.
very
I'm on the
backbreaking.
fence.
I'm gonna say I'm on the fence. Like, I'm gonna say a
Yeah.
tentative unban, but
She's
She's
not
in
on
my
the same
queue.
level as things like Ancestral Call or Black Lotus or Balance, but at the same time,
she's just
she's
more.
not Biorhythm.
Yes, exactly.
She's not Biorhythm.
She's somewhere in
levels of
purgatory
Neighbor.
there, somewhere in between.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think Biorhythm should be banned more than Braid should be banned.
All right, Ian, shut up.
Ian's
talk
just biased against green.
Let's talk about Chaos Orb now. It's
I-
understandable why it's banned, but
It's
it's
for dexterity
also
purposes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
that
I
should be
think it
banned.
could, no, I think it could be
Yeah, stays
unbanned.
banned.
I think it could be unbanned.
Mechanically, yes, I think it could be unbanned, but for the sake of dexterity and the reason why cards like that haven't been printed in over 20 years, yes, I think it should stay banned.
but
I feel like people wouldn't
I
play
think it
it
should be
because they'd
stayed
be
banned as a
like,
precedent.
if I had the money to buy a Chaos Orb and wanted to play it, this would be the only way I could. It would be in Commander.
and you
I
would
mean,
be damaging the card.
Dexterity is definitely a big issue about it. So it definitely does have to stay banned, but like it's very, very cubable.
I wouldn't. My friend has it in their cube, and they just have it as 2-mana destroy target permanent, basically.
Interesting.
That's why, mechanically, it's fair, but from a rules perspective,
Yeah, it's just it's very hard to judge. It's unfortunate.
same goes for Falling Star.
I don't know why they put dexterity cards in there.
It was 19. It was the 90s. CJ,
Yeah.
you got to give him a free pass.
Kids get bored when playing card games. They have to like have something to do when they do it, right?
Exactly.
But slaying mantis is legal.
What's that?
Buzzbar.
Yeah, old bus.
Silver border cards.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's move on. Coalition victory. Another hard yes. For,
Same as Biorhythm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
hard
that should
Hard.
definitely be unbanned.
I
That
think we
seems
should
so
note
much
though
fun.
that it is much easier to proc it though now than it was when it was initially banned. All
That's
you need is
true.
like what Prismatic Omen and
A
actually no, I
5-color
guess
commander.
not even a 5-color commander. You have a bunch of things that are just 5 colors. There's a golem that's 4
Oh
generic.
yeah, like etch
and it's 5
champion
colors.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's
8
from
mana,
it's from like Dissension or something like that. It's 4 mana.
The thing is, there's a lot of ways you can respond to this. Like, if you were to kill one of the colored creatures and cut them off a color,
Yep.
the spell fizzles, and it's a 8-mana spell. Yeah, 8 mana.
Mhm.
Wooburg 3.
Yeah,
So-
it requires a lot of setup.
Like
There's
I-
things
It requires a
like
lot of
Second
setup
Twin
and
are
protection. Like a
available.
counterspell kills it. Any removal kills it.
Time Stop kills it.
Time stop kills it.
like I said before, there's a lot of more broken stuff you could be doing at 8 mana. Like,
Exactly.
8 mana, you could do a more protected win the game combo.
Yes. And it would be a very fun card to play. Like, it would be fun to play in a lands deck. It would be fun to play in, like, Golos.
Or a group hug deck, like a random group hug deck that has as a win con.
Yes, I love that. So, are we all... Wait, Ian, are you a yes on this one?
It should probably be unbanned, yeah.
All right, so we're all in agreement here. Next up is Channel.
I think it's
I
fine.
think banned. I think it
Yeah.
should be banned.
I think it should stay
Really?
banned.
I think it
It's
should
a
stay
super
banned.
ritual.
It's very, very powerful. Like, you can have...
Okay, actually, you're right. It's commander, so you start with 40 life. You're basically ignore me. I'm being stupid.
It needs to be banned. That needs to stay banned. Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. Unbanned.
I think unbanned is fine.
Yeah, unbanned.
15 colorless
So-
mana for...
I've never played a
Ah.
colorless deck, so I don't know how easily it can ramp up.
It can
to
ramp-
15, but even if you get to
Well-
15, you're at a 4-person table.
Yeah.
And you've got
Yeah,
15
like exactly. When you
flyers.
cast it in
Okay.
1v1, like you win, but in 4 players, you
Yeah.
don't necessarily win if you cast it.
Exactly.
I'm on the fence. I think it could probably be unbanned, but I don't know. I'm a little on the fence.
This is
Let him to test it out.
like...
Isn't it in your cube, CJ?
I don't own a copy of Aeon's Torn, actually. If I had a copy, then it would be in the cube.
You have how many copies of
You
Mana
might
Crypt, but
wanna
not a
get on
single
that.
Emrakul?
Of which card am I? Or of which
Mana
card?
Crypt?
Oh,
Don't you
Mana
have like
Crypt.
4
Three
copies or
of
something like
Mana
that?
Crypt now. 3 copies of Mana Crypt. I traded a Sliver Queen for one.
Oof.
You can pick up Emrakul for like
Sliver Queen and some like $10 card for Mana Crypt and Expropriate.
That's hot.
Yeah.
All right,
You can
let's
pick up the
keep
Aeon's
on
Torn for like
track here,
18 bucks
bro.
right now.
Stay on
You know?
track. Arroyo.
Same as braids.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think it should be unbanned. I don't think it's too threatening.
I think
Yeah.
Arroyo's more unbannable than Braids.
I think it should stay banned.
Because it's a 1/1 and it takes 4 spells to flip it, which is not. I
Uh-huh.
mean, it's not hard to do, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
You could probably be
Like,
proc turn 2 every game.
The only
Pretty
the only
consistent.
scary thing I can think of. The only scary thing I think of if you cast this and then you go rock, rock, rock. Like that's the only thing that's I
Well,
think is scary.
What's relevant is that it's the 4th spell period in a turn, so you could
Yes.
theoretically use your opponent's spells in order to proc her and flip her in one turn.
Oh, that's
So if someone tries to
true.
remove her with something, you could respond by casting a spell. She becomes an enchantment. Suddenly the removal spell doesn't work anymore.
That's true.
I think she
I
should
still
stay
think she
banned.
deserves to. She deserves a chance. I think,
I think she deserves a chance.
even though she's
Now, if
about
she-
as fundamentally unfun as Braids is, I think it's
If she
more.
comes back if she goes in the format, you know, a Goblin Sharpshooter might be a good card. You know,
Ooh.
I
Would she
think
be
Goblin Sharpshooter is
cEDH?
already very good in cEDH. I think it's a decent deck option. So maybe it
Yeah.
can come back.
It's also a combo
Yeah.
piece.
Oh yeah, Sharpshooter is really good.
Would Arroyo be cEDH then?
I think Arroyo could be CEDH.
I'd have
I think
to
so too.
try to figure out some kind of a list. Like she'd be pretty unique as far as CDH goes. I think,
I don't know how
especially if you
it would
dedicate
win.
yourself towards flipping her as soon as possible.
Yeah, I don't know how it would win.
You need like a lot of 0 spells. Well, like the way you win with Arroyo
Stats,
is
most likely.
play her and Arcane Laboratory, and then the opponents can't cast spells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Eidolon.
But that's white.
that seems pretty good.
Oh yeah, that's white though.
Anyways, next card.
Next card. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing.
Fast Bond.
Falling Star.
Falling.
Same reason
Yeah,
as
same
as
thing as
Chaos
Chaos
Orb.
Orb.
Yeah.
Fast Bond.
Banned.
Let
Holy
me
shit,
check the
Stace.
wording.
Turn 1. Okay. Granted, you need something like a Ren and 6 or something along those lines, but I think Fast Bond is way too good.
I
It would
think
Especially
break
when
Get Drug
play
open.
isn't-
I think it's fine unless you have a Crucible of Worlds in play.
I think it has to stay banned,
I
100%.
think it's banned. I
Even
think
if it's just a
banned.
ritual effect that lets you play 3 extra lands on your first turn, I think it's.
I mean, yeah, it is a ton of ramp. And like with Courser,
Like Oracle Medaya and like Sensei's Binding Top and like I think
And paying
it's
the
just
1
too
life
good.
isn't.
yeah,
Yeah, the cost
Yeah.
isn't relevant in EDH.
that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, it probably should stay banned. It's just insane. A lot of mana.
Mhm.
Gifts Ungiven.
I think it'd be unbanned, honestly.
It's
I
just
don't know.
slightly better
I'd have to
intuition.
think about it. Yeah, I want to say that it's a slightly better intuition, but at the same time, I think I'd have to at least think about it and or try to test it out before coming to a conclusion.
That's true. I mean, it can get an extra card and an extra card to your hand, which is big. But
I'd
it's
give it
It's
like
better in a lot of
hesitant-
ways, though. 'Cause you could just get 2
hesitant
guards to your
unbanned.
graveyard.
yeah. I mean, you can get like something backbreaking and 3 reanimation spells, but
It could just
At the
be
very
4
least,
mana,
it's
double
a-
entomb, and blue.
Yeah,
I was
like
thinking
is
instant
that
speed buried
is-
alive, but yeah, that's the same thing.
yeah,
it's 4 mana. Like I don't think it's that scary. Like
yeah.
they're not winning the game off of 4 mana. So
Plus, like your opponents will know what's coming too.
mhm.
Like whoever's against you will know what you're getting and how to react to it. Like what cards to have, what cards to keep available for when you try to cast whatever combo pieces you get, or whatever good cards you get with it. I mean, it just shows a lot before it can, because 4 mana is a good amount, like a decent amount of mana. Like you're not going to be able to do that much after you cast it. It is an instant though.
Like the most broken thing that I can't really think of in CDH you could do with it is kind of like get necrotic ooze and like dread return in your graveyard, maybe.
Yeah, but then again, they
Maybe
can put them
like
in your
something like
hand.
that.
They can put them in your hand.
Yeah. No. If you just should get 2 cards, you have to put them in the graveyard.
It's search your library 4 cards with different names, reveal them, target opponent
Up
chooses
to
2
4.
of them, put the chosen cards into the graveyard, the rest into your hand.
So if you just pick 2, they have to put those 2 in the graveyard.
Oh, is it up to?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh.
That's what they do in modern with it. Like there was a there was like a blue Tron deck back in the day, that would use
Mhm.
burial plus
Yeah.
like I something that would you mill both those with gift on giving on end step and then just cast them like Iona.
That's why it's double entomb and blue.
Yeah, it's double entomb in blue for quadruple the mana.
Or it's also draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the new Siltai ultimatum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's another
I
thing
think
you
you
can
can
do
it's
that's
unbannable.
better for 8 mana.
Definitely think it's unbannable.
It might
Yeah.
be make Storm too good in Commander, but
I think Storm is not really too strong.
Storm is in a
with
really
Commander.
bad
Yeah,
spot.
Storm's
yeah.
not very powerful in Commander. It could use the help.
Like
Okay, I
Kess
could see
is not in
unbanned.
a Storm deck anymore. Kess the Consultations deck. She doesn't play Storm anymore.
Cass would love this card too.
Kess would be,
Yeah.
oh my god, that would be insane. Yeah, I could see unbanned.
Right.
Muldrotha would love it too.
Yeah. Muldrotha
Most of
would.
loves everything.
Yeah, anything.
That's true.
Any card that says graveyard,
or anything that can end up in the graveyard.
Yeah,
Grizzlebrand.
ban.
I think at 7 mana, I think he's
reanimate
It's
though.
8.
yeah, no, but he'd probably be played as I think he's banned because of being played as a commander. I think he'd be fine in
Yeah.
the 99.
He's
Yeah,
fine.
I would say he's worse than 99 than Commander. Like I don't think him as a Commander
disagree.
does anything.
I mean, you would need
Yep.
to entomb him and then reanimate him, but there's better cards to entomb and reanimate.
How much better is he than Razaketh?
I don't know if he is.
Razaketh requires you to have a board state besides him, but he's much better at winning. Well, is he much better at winning?
Tutors
instantly?
as opposed to draws cards.
Well, Grizzlebrand lets you drop a third of your deck.
That's
as soon as it
true.
lands.
So ad nauseum lets you draw your whole deck.
Yeah.
I don't think Grizzlebrand is that threatening, especially in the command zone where
You bring up a fair point.
Yeah,
about ad
exactly. I think he's fine in the command zone. And I think
I think he's worse than 99.
Okay.
Like I
I think
think
it's
he's
fine.
like
It's also,
worse and more of a problem than the 99. That's what I meant.
What's the other big demon that just came out? Whenever you lose life, you draw cards.
Villas,
Villas.
Broker of Blood.
He's
Yeah.
definitely way
Villas,
better than
I think-
Villas.
But
I think
Villas
he's
has
better than
nothing
Villas,
on
but
him.
Villas is like up there for sure.
Villas is
And
a very good comparison.
I think Razaketh's a better comparison.
I think it's
Well-
kind of like a Villas Razaketh hybrid. But
for
like
sure.
Except way better
think
than
he's
both of
fine.
them.
yeah. I mean
Yeah.
it's
don't think he's way
arguable
better. He's better, but-
than Razaketh, honestly. I think that's probably close.
If you get him out
think, like-
turn 1 in Commander, do you not win the game instantly?
If you can get him out turn 1 in Commander,
If you can get 8 mana turn 1 in Commander, I'm pretty sure you win. the
No,
game.
you just
Yeah.
entomb reanimate turn 1. You win the game instantly, right?
How are you entombing him? Oh, if he's in the 99.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean,
That's why I'm saying that he is
What
a
if-
stronger
what if
part of the
Black
99 than
okay.
Commander.
So you entomb, you reanimate, you lose 8 life instantly.
Yep.
So you have the ability to draw
24
cards.
cards.
24 cards. 28.
21
What-
cards.
28
20,
cards.
28, yeah.
I think that's the nut draw, but World Gorger does the same thing.
Yeah, and World Gorger actually infinite
It's not
mana.
reanimate, but animate dead. Granted, your opponents can interact with it much better than they can with Grizzlebrand, but
But I mean,
you can,
28 cards in your
you're more
hand-
guaranteed to end the game with World Gorger than you are with Grizzlebrand.
Storm decks would just win the game instantly. They would play it in Storm.
What if
I
you
would love to
print
see
in
that.
or something
Grizzlebrand?
land, like
I would love to see Grizzle Storm.
Gristle Storm. That'd be
oh, no
sick.
black Grizzle.
Like I'm just standing by my argument that like ad nauseum lets you draw your whole deck, where Grizzlebrand lets you draw like a
Yeah,
third of
I
your
think
deck.
Grizzlebrand would be
Yeah.
fine.
I
too,
think
at
he's
least,
fine in
like,
Commander.
as like a tentative unbanned, same as Gibson given.
On a creature, I think he's a lot stronger than a spell, though.
I think he is a definite unban on my part.
I would be 50-50.
All right. Next up, we got Iona.
Unbanned.
Why'd they ban that card? It's a joke.
Unbanned.
That was stupid to me.
Again, it sort of like encroaches upon the philosophy of what it means to have a commander ban list, or to have a ban list inside of a casual format, which I'm sure we'll touch upon later. But
Yeah.
I think depending on your definition, the Iona ban was justified. But again, it depends on your definition very closely. But I'm sure we'll touch upon Iona much better later on, so we can just skip ahead for now.
But I mean, like, is Iona let's say you reanimate Iona turn 1. Is that so much better than reanimate Griselbrand turn 1?
I would
Well,
rather.
not even from that perspective. That's
Just
not even
it's
a
a
thought in my
mean
mind.
card. Iona's just a mean
Yeah.
card. It can be played to
And
lock a single player out of the game if they're monocolored. I think the main reason
It's also like
the main reason it
it
was
can also be
banned
like
is
a
the
card.
Painter
Like
Servant.
if you hate a color in the meta, like
Yeah. The main reason it was banned is because Painter Servant was unbanned. Like it happened at the same time.
I don't
I
think
think
it's
If someone wants to
the
cast
main reason,
9 mana to combo me out, like go ahead.
Yeah, that's
like,
a fine combo.
Yeah. It's pretty bad combo, actually.
Yeah,
No, it's actually 11 mana.
yeah, because of
wow.
Painter Servant.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's
Painter Servant sucks on its
totally
own.
illegal. I think it should totally be a valid card in the format. It's just a mean card.
Yeah, that was stupid
maybe
to
they
ban.
actually got rid of her just to up White's like band count on the ban list to make it look more powerful than it actually is.
Iona would be white would just be a better color with it.
Yeah,
There's so much complaint about white being bad.
I don't
and then
think
they
White is
ban
so
it.
much worse now that Iona's gone.
Iona didn't see a
personally.
lot of play. Like I
Yeah,
had it in
exactly.
one
Like
deck out of my.
I saw,
decks.
yeah,
I saw it a good amount
she in a
because
few
of what's the
big,
angel?
like angel tribal decks.
Like what's the
Kalia?
4-mana one that you could
Oh.
put?
Kalia.
Kalia,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, Kalia.
Like
I saw that a few
played- like,
times, but
Iona
that's
was
a
legal
minority.
for like out of like the 4 of the 6 years that I was playing Commander. She was legal, Iona, and she never
Yeah.
really felt like terrible to play.
Yeah,
her.
no,
she was actually pretty. She if you're playing a 3, like I'm someone who always plays 3 or more color decks, so I was never like drastically impacted on her. And in fact, when somebody landed her, it was always really cool because like I had to figure out how to play around the fact that 1/3 of my deck was shut off. But at the same time, from a fun or mean card standpoint, if you were building a monocolored deck, you have to play things like Erase from Existence or Unstable Obelisk on the off chance you encounter Iona at a table.
Back in the day when I had
like-
my mono green elves deck, somebody did pick Iona green on me, and it was pretty sad. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that bad. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like
gonna
it's not
get
the worst
removed.
thing that you can do to someone at a table, but I do think it's relevant enough that if
because
you're
it usually goes away in a
banning
turn.
cards,
Yeah.
if you're banning cards based entirely on how they make people feel at a table, then I think there's an argument for Iona. But again, I'm not a fan of doing an official ban list based on that in the first place.
I
which I'm
agree
sure we'll talk about
100%.
later.
Like I
Like,
think
if you're playing
Stasis is
monocolor
way
and
more
you lose
efficient at taking
Iona,
people
yeah.
out of the game.
Like again, I'm
Stasis
sure that
is
we'll
much
talk about
worse.
this more later on in the episode, so we shouldn't delve into it too much here. And
Yeah,
just get
yeah,
to
yeah.
the ban list.
Let's move on to the next one. We'll get back. We'll circle back to that later. Next up on the list is Caracas.
Ban 100%.
This is one
I
that
really wanna play with
wanna
it, but I
see
agree.
legal.
I
really wanna
wish it
see
was
people
legal
do-
because I feel like there's so much cool stuff you could do with
There
Crocus.
is like
Sure.
using it on your own commander could be great.
Agreed.
Like,
But
They should
it
make a
deserves to be
new
banned.
Caracas that can only hit your own commander
I
in
mean,
a commander set.
yeah,
that's pretty cool, honestly.
that'd be cool. I like that idea.
We'll have to see.
Like, but
Yeah,
I played
Maybe that'll
Riptide
be in the
Raptor
next commander
in
set.
the bouncer set.
or a new Caracas that just can't hit commander cards.
I still want to build. Okay, so there
Any other
off
legendary.
topic, but there was There was a legacy deck that I saw once. It was a Bant Nickfit deck that used Peer and Toothy, and you'd play Karakas to bounce Toothy back to your hand and draw like 6 cards.
That sounds right up your alley.
Caracas is breaking legacy even
100%.
more now because you can protect Lutri or Luris with it. You can
Luris?
protect Luris with it.
I like it.
I don't not want to get into Luris in this because Luris is a whole
Luris is
other
busted.
thing.
Okay, next one.
Next up, we got Leovold, Emissary of Trust.
I
He
say
is
unbanned.
pretty boring to play against, and like
Yeah,
I
but
don't
I
know.
say unbanned.
I could say unbanned.
Mhm.
I'll put him on the same
like I-
level as Braids and Araya, personally.
I think he's even less harsh than both of those. I'd say Leovold, Arayu, Braids.
My problem with Leovold is that sure, like the wheels thing is a problem, but like also he's just so hard to remove. If you target him, they draw a card. Like if
also-
any of your stuff gets
Uh-huh.
targeted, they draw a card. He's just it's I think the problem is just the protection he offers also.
Yeah. There's also, but there are a lot of other commanders, especially now, that really benefit you more than your opponents off of any wheel effect.
Yeah.
Like that's become a much greater thing in Commander now, especially with these new Commander decks. I mean, none of them are on the same level as Leovold, obviously.
I mean,
but,
getting like 51 ones is pretty good.
yes, and if you have Perforos in play when you do that wheel, you win the game. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Leovold is just very difficult to get around. Just because it's just
He does a lot.
Yeah, he does a lot, and it's all value for whoever has Leovold, and
And it's in the best colors in Commander.
that's accurate.
It's relevant. If he was in
I think
Boros, I
he
can
should
assure
win
you
that.
that he wouldn't need to
Here's
be banned.
Boros.
Actually, hold on. He should have been Boros.
Are there any
Think about it,
bonus
like-
cards on the ban list? No.
Not to my knowledge. But like, think about it. You could have reasonably printed that text box onto a Boros card. Like thematically, it makes sense.
Yeah,
You're
you could have
You're
printed
policing your
on-
opponents.
Yeah, it's kinda
and
like what's the
it's
white-
a wacky
could have
form of
Spear the
card.
Labyrinth.
You could have printed it on mono white.
Yeah, that would have been
Okay, no.
interesting.
What could have been?
You could
None of
compare a
it's
second
really-
effect
none
to
of
like
it's
Karma
really
Justice
red.
in a way.
It could have been Selesnya
I mean, it's all white.
because
effects,
green
right?
protects itself.
I still think White Red could have really used it.
White red definitely could have used it. I just don't see the red in it.
Don't you see? He's really passionate. He really look at him. He really wants to shake your hand. He's so.
Oko
passionate.
should have been red.
He is looking to shake some hands.
Is it on a
Are there any
TV?
red
Have you seen
elves?
those abs? He should have been red.
Oh,
Are there any red elves now that I think about it? There's Bloodbraid.
Oh, yeah, Bloodbraid.
Yeah, blood red. Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
also great.
Red elves exist.
They definitely
Crush,
do.
Blood Red.
Are there mono red elves?
Let's
mean
move on
dwarf
from
card?
Leovold. Let's move on to the Library of Alexandria.
Unbanned.
Never
probably.
played with the cards, so I
Also
can't
the
really say.
Vintage Masters art for it is really cool.
I played it in
I
Vintage
think the
Cube
card's
before and it's a
very
beating, but
I think it should.
No, I think the card's very powerful.
I think it should
Vintage Cube's
totally
fun.
be.
Actually, no, yeah. Okay, never mind. Turn 1, Library of Alexandria. Stupid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you also have to
that's the
have it
most
turn
strongest
one.
part of library.
but you're
Good-
taking a
yeah,
turn
I
off
know,
in
I
Commander,
agree.
and that's not very
90
impactful.
What's the odds of having it in your hand? Neil, let me check really quickly.
But like
It's one out
in
of
a
99 cards
four-player
in your deck.
in a four-player format, like drawing one more card and skipping your whole turn is way less powerful.
You're not skipping your whole turn. So what you do is you play your first turn. You draw library. You play library, just 7 cards in hand. You just end your turn. Then end step, you tap library.
Yeah.
Well, you're skipping your first turn.
Yeah, I mean,
You
you're
draw
not
an
playing
extra card.
I wouldn't say you're skipping
And
necessarily.
you're playing a
playing
colorless
anything
land.
turn one. I mean, it's just an extra card in a 4-player format, and I don't think that that's too powerful because it's not easy to consistently keep 7 cards in your hand,
Yeah, I
especially
think it's definitely unbanned.
when you want to be playing those cards.
It's just not very
You'd
impactful
be
as a
sticking you to
colorless
one
land.
card a turn unless you have extra card draw elsewhere. Plus, if it's a very expensive card, which is probably one of the big reasons why it is on the,
Mhm.
the reserve or the ban list, and I think that probably shouldn't matter in the judgment of whether it is banned or not. I don't see on the card a big enough reason to ban it in a multiplayer format.
I agree.
I'm on the fence, really. I think the card's very powerful.
It's definitely a powerful card.
Oh, I agree.
but
Yeah.
You need to have it in your
So-
starting
so-
hand for it to really be useful. and a way to consistently keep 7 cards in your hand.
So I just plugged the numbers a little bit. And basically, if you take your free mulligan into account, like if you're guaranteed to use your free mulligan, there's roughly a 13% chance that you'll have library in your opening hand. And I think that's a big enough chance to say, yeah, it's kind of too good.
Here's a question. If library was unbanned today, would you put it in every commander deck you own?
No,
Yes.
I wouldn't put it inside. I'd put it in every white deck and red deck I own.
I wouldn't count it as a land when I put it in, like a Mezabith sort of thing.
It does make colorless.
It does
But
make
I think it's better for a pass-go type of deck.
But I would not count it as a land if I'm trying to count out the lands from my deck. I would just include it outright.
The thing is, the decks that really want
You would put it in every deck?
Yes.
The decks that really want it are decks that can't keep your hand at 7 cards easily.
Wheels.
It's not even like what you have
wheels,
to do.
Yeah, but a lot of the wheels
that-
don't bring you to 7.
I think when you're,
I mean, Wheel of Fortune does, right?
that's the only.
I think when you're looking at
Windfall
colorless
Wheel most of
cards,
the
it's
time.
really
Well,
important to ask: would you put it in every deck or not?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. I
Because
think
then
that's
it's just
wrong.
Lutri.
Yeah,
It's like Soul Ring.
Okay, it's not Lutri, but I get what your point is. Like,
It's Soul Ring.
and I kind of agree.
Yeah, I do agree with that point.
Like Soul Ring is in every deck, and it probably should be banned, but that's another thing. But like, it would just be another Soul Ring, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say 10
Comment below.
I would say unbanned partly because of the fact that even if it is like close to an auto include in most decks, there's not a lot of them around, and doesn't give that. I don't think it gives that big of a bonus. Like if I had a Library of Alexandria, I would want to be able to play it in some format, and I feel like this would be one of the safest formats to be able to play it in.
It would be in every
A lot of
commander
people say
deck I
the
built
same thing
from now
about
on.
Scheherazade, CJ, and look where we're at right now.
Scheherazade, once I can get a copy, is going in the cube, and we'll get to that card in a bit.
Yeah, we'll get to Scheherazade soon.
Let's go to the next card, I guess.
All right. Limited resources.
Banned.
For sure, man.
Yeah, that card is just horrible.
That card was not designed for multiplayer.
Not
It's like
at all.
balance on steroids.
I really wanted
Steroids?
to
You're
put
being
this
generous,
card-
CJ.
I
Ian. It's
really
on crack.
wanted
It is
this
on
card
crack.
by Lavinia really badly. But
That's horrible.
I know. It's
I want an
probably a
Embrago.
card that should stay banned, but I love it.
I wonder if there could be like if you would just be a ramp deck that try to get as many lands as you could turn 1. Like if that would be the best deck for it.
I
That's
think
fine.
No, because you have to sack to 5.
yeah,
You have to
But
sack
then
to 5.
if you get to 5 lands, no one else could get any more lands.
I mean, yeah.
10. You need to get to 10.
yeah.
Yeah.
So people
It's-
could still play lands. Unless you played more after you played limited resources.
If you had limited resource in your deck, would you want to not have as many lands in your deck?
I don't know, because it's also it's not that hard to remove. I mean, it's just an enchantment with no protection.
If you can't play more than 1 land, then it's hard to remove.
I mean, it's true, but
Nature's Claim.
you would need to have enough lands to stop your opponents from like getting those lands. Like you need to have enough lands so that way your opponents can't play lands. It's not easy. There's no easy ways in Commander to really pump out that many lands that quickly. Like people are going to have 3 or 4 lands at minimum by the time you hit 10.
Like if they're gonna 4 players, that's only like 2.5 lands per player. Like that's not a lot. And a lot of removal is more than that.
That's true. I mean, the majority of white enchantment removal is like 1 or 2, but there's definitely a lot. I mean, there's also a lot of free ones, like Force of Vigor. But I don't think it should be unbanned.
100%. I think it should be
I
banned.
think this card's very toxic, and if you play it,
It's
like,
definitely
yeah.
toxic. All right, next
Put
up.
it in the cube.
I thought about it.
we should probably group all of the
All right.
next 5 as one card.
Yeah,
then
that's 5. We're gonna do them all together. It's the Moxes.
Banned.
Yeah.
Probably
Banned.
banned, but
Mhm.
Braga would
Like,
love the
I
Mox.
wouldn't.
It's the
Oh my
idea
Paradoxical
God.
Alchemy.
to be played in every deck.
I
But
wouldn't.
like if I could go
care
Mox,
about
Brago, swing, untap the Moxes, like oh my God.
I wouldn't care if they were illegal that much, but they should stay banned because
So it'd be playing like every deck. Like it's like that argument again,
yes,
right?
it's like Arcane Signet, like or it's like I mean, yeah, you put it in every deck, but then again, do you put the Moss Diamond and that cycle in every deck? Because it's very similar. Just I mean, obviously
Those cost mana.
better. Those cost mana, yes, but there's
Mox
still
Diamond probably should be in
that
every deck.
tap for the color.
If you can afford a Mox Diamond, you probably should put it in your deck.
Yes.
Just like Mana Crypt.
Yeah.
Or Chrome Mox.
I think all
Like-
of them except Mox Emerald should be legal because green has enough ramp.
Mox Pearl. That needs to be only
Mox-
unbanned Mox Pearl.
Mox Pearl and Mox Ruby, those could
Mox-
be unbanned.
Yeah.
That'd be insane if they only unbanned certain colors.
Oh, Sam's missing.
Ooh,
That
I'm
would be
thinking like maybe something
ridiculous.
interesting, like in like Shimmer Zur, you can start like flashing in these artifacts and start like with counterspell.
That'd be wild.
That would be so bad. That would be like, oh, please don't
Sick.
unban them.
Sam, what happened to your video?
He said he's just getting his phone charger.
All right, next
His
card.
your charger.
Well,
Paradox
hopefully
Engine.
when Sam gets here, we'll repeat what the next card is. But the next card is going to be Panoptic Mirror.
Oh, Panoptic Mirror.
Panoptic.
Is that? Do you have the
Um,
most recent list? Does your list have Paradox Engine?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Paradox PAR is after PAN, Ian.
Oh, then my list I'm looking at is weird. It's a strange.
Mine is just alphabetical.
I
It's
thought
only
mine
power
was
with
alphabetical.
10.
I think
It's- that's
Panoptic
Panoptic
Mirror
Mirror,
could be
wait, yeah.
legal.
The only problem with it is extra turn cards.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you need to pay 5 mana to play it, and then imprint the extra turn spell on it, which is going to be at minimum like 5 mana as well. So it's like a 10 mana, you win the game.
It was banned relatively recently, right? Like last 10 years, last 5 years.
I don't know, but it's also 5 mana to play it, 5 mana to imprint, and then either you need to have another extra turn to start it, or you need to wait a rotation before it starts. So it's 10 mana, you might win the game when your next turn starts. I think that's totally fine.
I'm just curious when it was banned. I remember it. I thought it was. I remember when it was banned.
Panoptic Mirror, Sam.
I'm
Panoptic
feeling I
Mirror?
played against this card recently. I forget. Like I think someone had this.
In
Oh,
my
it was a cube.
You're
Yeah.
in my
Here- Here's thinking. Ah, okay. No,
I think it should totally be legal. It's 10 mana to
yeah, it's fine.
wait until your next turn to maybe win the game.
I think it should be legal. Like it's a 5-man artifact.
Yeah.
I think.
agree.
Yeah. Now that I think about that,
Yeah, it could probably be unbanned.
it's definitely
It's a
a
two-card win
lot.
condition
Like
with Time Warp, but
Yeah, but that's
that's a
10 mana.
two-card win
Yeah,
condition.
that's a lot of
I
mana.
know.
10 mana, you have to wait a full
That's what I'm saying.
cycle.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that like Kiki Jiki and Splinter Twin effects are 2 cards win the game for much less.
Yeah, exactly. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
and one of the parts is flash.
Yeah.
So,
So-
yeah,
I'm
I think it's fine.
time.
We're all on the same page with this one.
I
Should
think,
we move
like,
to the
I
next
think
one?
it's a lot.
Unless there's a
I
reason
think
that we're
judging
not
this
thinking of.
I think we're judging this from like a more competitive point of view in Commander, though. I think definitely in casual, this card is a lot more powerful. 'Cause
I-
people will
Super
let you
Isochron
untap it.
Scepter.
In
Yeah,
casual, you're probably not going to be imprinting an extra turn spell on it, and you'll just be
So
getting
like
a free.
theoretically, so for the same amount of mana, you can accomplish effectively the same thing right now with. Actually, no, never mind. Isochron Scepter is
accomplish
only
more with
0 less.
expropriate.
I'm being stupid.
Well, not more, but like you can accomplish basically the same thing with expropriate.
You can still do this with a Soulfire Grandmaster, right? Time Warp?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
It's just more colors.
yeah. Unless there is something about this card that we're totally missing, which I'm sure there might be, I think it's fine.
I
Maybe
think.
untap
It's a
effects.
fun card. I would love to play with it.
I mean,
Even
untap
tap
effects don't
effects
do
could.
anything because it's you get to copy it at the beginning of your upkeep. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
one-time
Uh-huh,
spell.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
very
print
true.
something dumb on it, but like you can print something like Armageddon on it, I guess, and that would be dumb, but I don't see it being absolutely broken.
Yeah, having to wait a whole turn cycle is big.
Yeah, that's the biggest part about it. Like, it doesn't start until your next upkeep.
Oh,
And
so
it's
I'm
just
looking
an
it up right
artifact.
now. The history of the banning. So apparently, back in 2013, it was banned because Sheldon played a 1v1 EDH game against somebody else with some obscure rules, and that was one of the reasons why they banned it.
Oh, that's
2013
dumb.
he was
On
banned.
like a
Yeah, unbanned,
precursor.
unbanned.
I
for
think
sure.
I remember
Unbanned.
when he was banned. Honestly,
Hard unban.
I think I was playing when
Let's
he
go
was
next
banned.
card, I guess.
I think this is the most unbannable thing on the list so far. I think.
What about this one, Sam? Because this one, I am a strong proponent for the unban. And
Paradox
it is
Engine.
Paradox Engine. I
I
am
think
a
it's fine.
strong
think it-
proponent for this one. This
It
one,
validated a bunch of different strategies.
it did. It like once it was banned, it really hurt actually competitive EDH because it stopped a lot of.
Sisei was a cool deck.
Sisei was a
I
cool
loved
deck.
playing against Sisei. You could just steal her every single time.
And like Sisei against you, Sam. You always do Gilded Drake.
For this is before we started playing competitive EDH on CJ's channel, but for those of you who don't who aren't aware, CJ and I played against each other like 5 or 6 times when we went to GP Providence last year, and every single game I got a Gilded Drake out like turn 3 and still hit Sisei, and it was terrible because I could only
was
tutor for like
hilarious.
Mox. I could only tutor for Mox Amber and like Pier. Those are the only things
You
in
were
my deck that I
always
could
on my right.
realistically get.
You're always on my right. So if you didn't do it, then when I untapped, I would have won the game every time.
Uh-huh.
Ugh,
Yeah, but I think it'd be unbanned for sure.
I think definite unban.
I think it's fine. It opens up a lot of diversity options. But again,
think
we're
it,
talking
like-
about this from a competitive standpoint, I think.
I mean,
Mhm.
even
And
it
that's
makes longer games for non-competitive, and I mean, there's index like Feather, it's very powerful, stuff like that. But it's not broken in a casual format. It's just a lot of value.
I think it pushes a lot of boundaries in casual, especially because it's colorless.
That's true. But I mean, it's
The fact that
colorless,
it's
but it can
colorless
only be
is very
played in
relevant.
certain decks, anyways. Like, not every deck can run Paradox.
Yeah,
Engine.
it doesn't hit
Yeah.
the would you put this in every deck
Not even close.
utility card threshold at all.
Yeah. I
It
agree
does
with
make
that,
certain
actually.
decks playable, like that. Like we're like tier 3 decks and the tier 1 decks though. Because
Which
like
I
Sisei
love.
with his card's like tier 3, but with that card she's like tier 1.
Exactly. Which I love that. It makes the format.
Yeah.
It gives more substance to the format.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess
I think that was a bad
like
ban.
if you let Sisei untap, it's your fault for not having a removal for Sisei.
Exactly.
I think that whole announcement was awful. Iona, a Paradox Engine.
I
That
was
was just a terrible announcement.
love Gamer Servant being unbanned, though.
That
I
was-
love that.
that would be a
Because
fun deck to play around.
My Dromar deck,
Mm.
that is
Mhm.
probably the best card in the deck.
Great. The most casual deck in existence is happy about it. But everybody else is just Iona. It's
Don't
good.
do
It's
you
good, guys.
grindstone in there?
I actually did put Grindstone in there. 'cause I
That
had
is a
an
fair
extra
point,
copy.
actually. It
I
gives a
can- it can win
2-card
now.
colorless combo for every single deck, no matter
But
what.
it's not a good
commander you're
2-card
playing,
colorless
you can
combo.
play.
It can mill
Granted,
one
yeah,
person
you're right.
out a turn cycle.
It's like Helm of Obedience.
You play politics. Hey, don't do anything to me or else I kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
But then on the end step of the person to your right, you kill someone anyways. That's how you
Yep.
play politics. That's how you use the helm combo.
Yeah, exactly. Or Ian just uses it and basically kills himself from it.
Yeah, that was optimal.
A video that I haven't seen yet.
Apparently.
Jeez,
next
I gotta
up.
watch. I gotta keep up more. Yeah.
Yeah. Next up, we got Primeval Titan.
Ugh.
This one I'm on the fence about.
I
but-
love Primeval Titan. I should build
Again, I think
Primetime Amulet Titan because I just love.
What are the
Primetime.
most broken legal lands?
Yeah, what's the most broken thing Primetime can do in a
When
game?
Primetime was banned in
Guys,
Commander, I
Cradle.
was so sad because I had it in my
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Pro
guys, Kratos probably.
So it can ramp you.
You can get
which it does anyway.
Dark Death.
Maze of It is a combo piece.
Dark Depths combo.
Yeah,
Ugh.
I guess
Dark
you can
Depths.
pay
Dark
6
Depths is
mana to
decent,
tutor
but
out a
not
combo
great.
piece. You can
Yeah.
tutor out a land that gets
Urborg.
a combo piece.
So, like, Primeval Titan isn't banned from a power level perspective. I think that's one thing that we have to really bear in mind here. It's banned because it's usable and basically correct to play in every single green deck in Commander. Like,
I don't know
is there a
about that.
single green deck that wouldn't play this?
I don't think so. I think most green decks want to be ramping. Don't want to be ramping after 6 mana. I think they want to be playing bomb. I mean, it is kind of a bomb, but only decks that have really good utility lands really want this card. And I mean, if playing it is a must-do in all green decks, then also playing the utility lands that go with it would have to become a must-do.
It kind of reminds me of like Consecrated Sphinx, where it's just like 6 mana, like nut. but like not every deck plays Consecrated Sphinx.
Exactly, and it consecrates. I think that's actually a very good comparison, because every blue deck could use Consecrated Sphinx. And like, not necessarily
So-
should, but it would be good in at most blue decks.
So, I know I'm jumping us even further off topic, but I just realized there was an interaction today. I read about it somewhere online, and it's beautiful. If one person has an alms collector in play, I'm sure you'll have it on the screen somewhere, CJ, and Consecrated Sphinx, and you try to draw cards off Consecrated Sphinx, you can just draw yourself out. And deck the
Oh,
other-
Alms Collector,
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah.
That is such a funny
Hilarious.
card. The camel. I love
So,
camel.
so you play blue-white and play Fractured Identity, and Fractured Identity your own alms collector.
Alms Collector's a camel, right?
No, it's a cat.
Yeah, it's a dude. It's a cat dude.
I thought it was a camel. Am I looking at the wrong card?
It's beautiful. I love it. You should put it in
So,
your in
before we
your
move
cube,
on-
Ian.
Before we move on from primetime, who says yes and who says no? I say yes to
I say yeah. Yeah, it's fine to unban primetime.
Yeah, I love Primetime.
I'm kind of in a similar boat.
Austin,
But
Alright.
again, I think it boils
primetime
down
was
to how
banned
you.
8 years ago.
When it was banned, and I had it in my favorite commander deck, I was so sad.
Oh,
It was banned 8 years ago. Like
that's
I played it in Trostani.
that's so long ago. There's much
I've
scary.
been playing commander for a long
the
time.
format changed so much in 8 years. I feel like a lot of these old bans, like
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you think about how much more powerful even just the commanders are nowadays than they
Yeah.
used to be, I think there's
Yeah.
definitely a case for unbanning it. But again, I think it also partially depends on how you define a ban list or what you want a ban list to be. For
I wonder if you could build Amulet Titan in commander.
That'd be hot.
Like get like a bounce land and
Amulet
like
Titan-
Mystic Sanctuary.
No, you do
only if you
Amulet
unban
Titan
Fast Bond.
You can do Amulet Titan with Maze's End.
Mm.
That sounds
And
terrible.
Maze's End is the win con.
Tatiova would love Primetime.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be insane.
All right, let's move on to something that would work well with primetime because it works well with every creature, being Prophet of Krufix.
I hate this card so
Hate it.
much.
Think
When it was banned,
it's-
I was so happy.
See,
I never got to play with
So-
it.
I
hated
hate
it.
it more.
I never played with
now
it, but I played
after-
against it.
I hate it more now after it's been banned than I did before it was because I never saw it
Me
used
too.
in a
Mhm.
busted way. The most broken thing I ever saw it in was literally just a casual Krufix deck that a friend of mine had, and this wasn't even a good Krufix deck. It was just this thing that made you like prosperity to draw 50, and it didn't even kill you with it. It was a bad deck, but we loved seeing it. But as I matured as a Magic player, after this has been banned, the more glad I am that this doesn't exist anymore. Like this card's disgusting. It
I
doesn't
have
It's just
the same
Seedborn
experience with
Muse,
Sam,
and
but
it's
yeah.
just like
I think,
you play
like-
Seedborn Muse, you could also get the Flash, and this card does both. Like it does
That's
the
the thing,
reason that
like-
you play Seedborn Muse.
It's
I
an
think
auto.
Seedborn Muse should be banned, and this is much worse than Seedborn Muse.
We'll get to
We'll
cards
get
that
to
we
that
think
later.
should be banned
We'll
later.
get to that.
But that's, I mean, Prophet's definitely an auto include in any blue green deck that likes creatures. Any.
Yeah.
And
Or
I mean,
untapping.
Yeah.
Do you
yeah,
like
or,
untapping?
or
You
just
play this card.
untapping because you can just use it to untap as opposed to
Like
even
Tassiger
using
loves
Flash.
this.
Oh yeah,
Like 100%.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
This
I'm
is
Tasker.
insane.
Any deck that loves Seedborn Muse would love this card.
it's a
Like,
strictly better Seedborn Muse, and Seedborn Muse is already fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
like I played with this card like Sam when it was like very casual and like I didn't understand like really like how broken EDH could be at that point. But like now, like retrospective, you can see like how many gross things you can do when you have like 4 times as like 3 times as much mana when you're playing during your opponent's turns. Like
that's true.
When it was legal, I saw it do some pretty horrible things. So I'm glad it's legal.
It's
It's banned.
it's Lighthouse Chronologist, but better.
Yeah,
You
So-
laid out-
I think we're on the same page here, keeping it banned.
For sure. Oh, up next is Ian's favorite card.
I love this card.
Recurring
Oh
Nightmare.
my god. I want this unbanned so bad, so I can have the
I disagree.
trifecta: survival of the
It
fittest,
should stay
recurring
banned.
nightmare, birthing pod.
I think unbanned.
Trifecta. Unbanned.
No,
it.
banned.
I think
It's
unbanned.
Like, it's damn near impossible to interact with this if you come
It's
along.
very, very difficult to interact
What do you mean?
with
You can only
it.
do it at sorcery speed.
It doesn't matter.
You just destroy it in response.
You can't destroy it in response. You sacrifice the creature and return this to your hand as part of the
You
Yeah,
counter
it's
it on
called
the
the
way back
cost.
down.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, you know it's coming.
Yeah. It's just 3 mana reanimate over and over again.
I don't know.
And you have to sack something.
I think
Nah,
it's,
I
I
think
think it's
it's
safe. I think it's
I don't
safe.
like it. I don't like it.
I think yeah. I think the fact that it's so hard to interact with is what makes it like more
Yeah,
pushing towards.
if we can't
ban
have
for
Flash,
me.
then we can't have Recurring Nightmare. I don't think it's as
I
bad
mean,
as
Recurring
Flash,
Nightmare is
that's,
so
but
that's
much
kind of
worse.
that's a fair comparison.
Recurring Nightmare would see zero cEDH play.
from an interactivity
It would see a
standpoint,
ton of casual play then. Or
Yeah, it would see casual
a
play.
lot of play in decks like 7 to 9.
You know, it would
power
actually
level.
be an insane deck if you could play this and then attack with Zur, get this, sack Zur to the Recurring Nightmare, and bring back something.
Ooh.
is there an enchantment that can bend something? Is there like an attunement effect or an entombment?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but that would be
Not
that would be
that I
so
can
that would be
think of.
such a sick deck. I want to build that deck so bad. Zur Recurring
I
Nightmare.
mean, there's enchantments that mill you, but I don't think they're like entomb like effects for enchantments.
I don't think
so.
I don't think it's busted in Commander. I think it's a very, very powerful card in Commander. The biggest reason why is because of the fact that it's super hard to interact with. But like, there's plenty of 3 mana and less reanimation in the format already,
Mhm.
and it's also only able to be done at sorcery speed, which is big.
But the thing is
Mhm.
about like recurring nightmares, like opposed to those other like cheaper reanimation spells, is you play your reanimation spell, you're like one and done. With recurring nightmare, you still have that. Just in case they remove your big creature, you just play recurring nightmare again and bring back your creature. Like
That's true. It's
Like there are
you
already
gotta
other
stop.
things that do that.
Yeah.
Like there are creatures that reanimate something, right? Over and over again.
but the creatures are very
Definitely.
easy to interact with, and the recurring nightmare is not.
Recurring
Yeah,
Nightmare is
there's
definitely.
I would like to see it on
There's
man.
no period of time between when Recurring Nightmare lands and when they activate Recurring Nightmare that other players have priority, and I think that's the biggest issue.
The thing is,
If that
it
makes
can
any
only
sense.
be, it can only be
Yeah, that's
activated
true.
though at sorcery speed, and it is counterable.
But that doesn't matter. But
Like, you
my
can
point is that like the interactability with a card shouldn't be reduced to counter magic to one color in the
But-
game, and that's my point.
Yeah, I mean, returning it to your
You
hand
can't-
is a part of the cost.
Sure.
That's the big
Mhm.
part.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't interact. Yeah.
Like Cross and Grip doesn't do anything for this. You can't actually.
true.
You don't have. You never have priority as soon as this lands, and that's my point.
It can only be interacted with like a counter spell or something like similar
On
to
the
that.
stack, yeah. It's only interactable on the stack.
Yes,
Or unless
Yeah,
you're gonna
that's
pitch
true.
it out someone's hand.
That is pretty busted. But I love
that
it.
is very, very powerful.
It's. I get what
Or
you're
stifle
feeling,
effects.
Ian.
Stifle. Disallow.
That sucks.
Stifle wouldn't even stop this card either because
It would return it to its
it wouldn't
hand,
stifle the
but
cost.
it
No,
would-
that's part of the cost. You can't stifle that.
Or no, I'm saying it would still return to the hand, and the creature would still
can-
be sacrificed, but nothing would be reanimated.
I guess that's true, but
That'd be
I
funny.
don't think like stifle is like that strong for that reason.
Can you reanimate the thing that you sacrificed to?
No, I don't think
No,
so.
no, because you have to
Because
target
you-
something. Because like you
Yeah.
pay the cost.
You
to target
declare
something.
targets before you pay the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Fun card. I think it should still stay banned.
I would
Shouldn't
like
be
I would
more
like to
easy.
see it be unbanned, but I don't know if it should. I'm very on the fence.
I would love it unbanned, but it is pretty insane, but I don't think it's that bad.
I think there's definitely it's definitely a very, very powerful, hard to interact with card.
Yeah.
Next up on the list is Rofellos.
Busted.
Nah, I think unbanned. Unbanned Rofellos.
He's too good. He ramps way too much for what Commander should be capable of.
All he is ramp, and they love it. I mean, it's
I
just
think
like
Is he that
could
much
be-
better than Silvalo?
it's very similar to Silvala, except he doesn't draw you a card. But it taps for mana
He's
more.
He's less explosive
efficiently.
than Silvalo.
He's so efficient, though.
He's just very efficient and very, very.
What green deck would not play Rofellos in the 99?
5-color deck.
A green deck that's not. Yeah, a green deck that's not mono green. Only mono green decks would really play.
I would say
Yeah.
3-color decks could play Rofellos as well.
Yeah,
If he's tapping for 2, then I think it's worth it.
I
I don't
mean,
know. But is that
it-
ban worthy?
there's. I'm trying to
I
think
think
of.
it's relevant, but it's
other-
not the reason he would be banned. He'd be banned because he's a commander and he does
Mhm.
this.
Yeah, I think
Would he be the go-to green commander always?
Like,
No.
Of course,
I
there's
think
always
it would still
Yisan. Like
play,
Yisan's
so
always
well.
very good, right?
Yeah, Yisan is another very relevant commander. I just think that he,
Are there any other commanders that do something similar that are better than him or worse than him?
I played Sol Ring as my commander once.
No commander ran.
Yeah, you did.
That's true. I don't know. I would like to
Actually,
try
that's
him out, see how bad
I
he
would,
is.
I would like to see him unbanned. This
We
is
should
one
do a
that I think-
TTS thing where we all play banned commanders and see what happens.
Didn't we talk about that at one point,
We
where we
did.
like build our own ban list or something like that?
We-
should
we
think
would-
about that idea.
We talked
more.
about drafting the ban list.
That's
So
weird.
Draft like drafting cards that we like. All of us come together, pick cards that we think that could be unbanned,
Okay,
and
okay,
drafting
we're-
them. But yeah, we're getting off.
we're giving
topic.
away
If you guys
too
want to see a
much.
video like that, comment down below. So yeah.
Give us ideas, please. We're not creative enough.
Let's do
So
sway those stars.
is it 2v2 for Rofellos right now? Me and Ian, Sam, and Jason.
I
I think
don't.
he's too efficient. I think he's too efficient.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I could see him unbanned, but it's pretty. I just don't
Like,
my thought
how
process.
how busted of a thing can you do in mono green with him? Like what? Oh, I'm gonna
Like,
get my
I
Ulamog.
want
It's
him
turn
unbanned.
5. Like
It's the best
Because
card.
like I want him banned because I could play him with Derevi and I can untap him like 20 times with Derevi.
That's
Like
true.
like.
don't.
But that's not the reason he's banned. But like, what could you do in Commander that's so busted in mono green with the mana that fast?
I don't know.
Ramp.
What can you do with channel?
You could channel.
Channel's turn 2. Rofellos
That's turn
can't
2.
do that
Rofellos,
turn
you
2.
can have turn 5 is when you get so much mana.
I just think the question is, what can you do with a bunch of mana? And I think the answer is
In mono green. Like,
whatever
what
the
can you
fuck
do?
you want.
Play a Terrastodon.
Yeah,
Who's
but
a
I
male?
mean, like, is that
Who's a
ban
male,
worthy?
like-
Terrastodon on turn 4.
I don't think so.
It's turn 4 that you can do, like 5 that you can do Terrastodon. That's
I
not
mean,
that
you-
busted.
For the longest time, you could just do it turn 2 with Flash.
Yeah. But like, Rofellos is fast, but he's not that fast.
Just plain still energy, then you're good to go.
He's also
Nobody knows what that card does.
And still energy gives haste,
like
but not
$500
attacking
or
haste.
something?
No, it's
Yeah,
super cheap.
exactly.
And still
Oh.
energy is like not reserved list. It's a cheap card.
Oh,
got
I was
yeah,
thinking
a
of
bunch of my
insane.
bulk.
honey. I was thinking of drop of honey or whatever it is.
Drop of honey is
had a-
nutty.
I had a, what was it? It was like a Tana and a Kaidel deck at one point, and I played it in there so that I could tap Kaidel instantly. It was bad.
I
But you
ran
should
it.
probably move
I
on.
ran it for a
We're getting very
little,
off
Energy
topic.
is underrated.
for a
You
little
should do-
while.
Top 10 underrated cards. You should start doing that, CJ.
All right, next video.
We'll do that later.
Next video.
Quick-
Yeah,
They'll-
next video.
They'll see it before we say this.
Let's go to the next card.
Or, no, they won't.
Yeah.
They definitely won't. see it.
Scheherazade, banned.
Yeah, like
Um,
same reason as the orb and Falling
It,
Star.
it breaks the game. It breaks the rules
Yeah.
of the game.
Charizard.
Free Shahrazad.
Is this going to
There's
be
some
like
people that don't
CJ's
want to play this up game.
I want
Like,
to see
is
this
this-
card unbanned so
Put it in
badly.
your cube.
This is going to be
If
CJ's
I can
gimmick from
afford it,
now
it would
on.
be.
I
I
like
It's
wanna
it
like
really
see
bring
this
expensive?
lands, you
card so
cowards, but
bad.
it's just unbanned Scheherazade.
Is Shahrazad expensive?
Yeah, it's like 250, 300 bucks.
Wow,
something
I
like
didn't
that.
know that. I thought it was
It's-
cheaper.
know
It's
what?
reserve list antiquities.
Yeah.
That doesn't even sound like a bad price, to be honest. For
I
a card as
I'll
notorious as
pick up a copy of
Scheherazade.
this card, and it will be in the cube. And
Didn't somebody go to a legacy tournament at one point with Shahrazad with no win con and just like ruin the tournament because it took so long?
I think
Or it was a
that-
vintage tournament? I don't remember.
I've definitely heard of
It would have to be vintage. I'm pretty sure this is banned in Legacy.
Like somebody came in with like a literally no win con deck and just like stalled the tournament.
As much as I hate that person, I have nothing but respect for them. It's,
Yep. I want to see this unbanned in Commander. I want to be able to play this card.
Yeah.
It
It
gives
makes at
white
least one of
something it
us.
can do.
Please ban it.
comment below
ban.
if you want Scheherazade unbanned in Commander.
Hashtag unbanned Shahrazad.
So am I the only one for the unbanned? Or is
Yes.
it me? Yeah, okay.
Pretty sure you are.
Okay, I'm the only one. Next up, we got Sundering Titan. Unbanned. Unbanned. The only reason why
No,
I
I don't want
Unbanned.
to see somebody land Deadeye Navigator in this and then just blow up.
But like
That's-
Sundering Titan feels similar to
it's
Ionia.
14 mana
Actually,
is-
like, I take it back. I don't want someone to rent this out and then just like cloud shift it and blow up 15 lands. No, that effect should not be available.
that's
You can only blow up 5 lands.
Yeah, it's whenever it enters or leaves, Ian.
yeah. So if you flicker it,
Flicker
Or 10
this,
lands.
You're blowing up.
yes.
You're blowing up 15 things if you
Mhm.
flicker this.
No, because you only choose one of each basic land type.
doesn't matter. You're playing against 3 other people. You're gonna have
No, but you
15
it doesn't matter for each opponent. You
You
choose
end
one.
up having to blow up your own most. Like, there's a good chance.
No,
after-
my point, Ian, is that because you play Sundering Titan, it blows up 5 things. You flicker it. It leaves.
Oh, because it
to blow up
leaves
5
amber.
things.
Yeah.
Then it
Mhm.
comes. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're blowing up 15 things.
I don't know. It
Probably
feels
belong
like
to your
similar
own.
to Iona to me.
Yeah.
So
I think it's similar to Iona in the sense
I'll
that
agree
it's
with that.
toxic and casual,
Actually,
but in competitive, like it's not going to do much.
Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Like,
assessment,
it's like
actually.
it's the
pretty similar
Iona.
to Ionia.
It's the Iona that fucks 5 color people instead of 1 color people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
al-
again,
it's another card that I don't think would see a lot of play, even if it was unbanned, though.
It boils down
The
to
way
what
you make
think
this
is
card not
good.
symmetrical is you play a Hermit Druid deck with no basics.
Yes.
you
And you also can't play rules and shocklands and stuff like that.
play
Don't even play
Cascading
shocks and
Cataracts and
duels.
target it.
Oh,
That's how you do
perfect.
it.
Cascading
It's
Cat.
just
Wait, it doesn't have a land type.
City of Brass Tribal.
Oh, you're or Urborg and Cascade.
You
Now
gotta
we're
play
thinking.
Urborg with this.
Now we're
You
thinking.
get, like, maze of it and stuff.
Contamination.
Inkwell,
All swamps
Leviathan.
only blow up a swamp. Now we're
I
really.
don't think contamination doesn't turn things into swamps.
Oh,
It makes them
right.
only
You're thinking
tap for
Blood
black.
Blood Moon, red.
Yes, Blood Moon.
Inkwell,
Thinking.
Leviathan. You can make everything Grixis.
Ooh, really thinking.
So
Okay, next.
yeah,
Well,
next,
what's our opinion on it?
I say
Sundering
keep it
Tides?
unbanned.
I think I'm
I'm putting it on the same level as Iona. Whatever I said for Iona.
All right.
So
I
we
think
changed your
it's more
mind. So you
toxic
think
than
I'm
Iona, so I think it should stay banned. I think for the sake of casual players, it should stay banned because
And I think we're gonna have to talk about this later, depending on it
Yes.
depends on what you think a ban list should do.
Yes, we'll get
For
into
a
that.
casual
We only
format.
got a few
We'll talk
cards
about
left to go through, and then we're moving on to the next topic. Next up is Sway of the Stars, unbanned.
yeah,
Unbanned.
I'm banned. Like
Unbanned.
It's
It's
fine
Charizard,
to
but
be
ton
unbanned.
more mana. Or no, it's
If
not.
you have
It's what is the name of it?
You
The
have
green- it's the
Expropriate
Great
and
Aurora.
Yeah, it's a greater. It's a restart the game. Completely restart.
yeah,
the
it's
game.
not quite the Great Aurora, or like
Great Aurora
Oh, yeah.
It's
something
not-
Great Aurora is fun.
It's very similar though.
I don't know why you would play this if you have the mana available to play this. Like, this is a card that you like.
Yeah.
Cost is like at the point where you could be winning the game. The only reason to play is if you're about to lose the game.
But it's just an asshole card like Shahrazad. You just like making the game take too long.
But who instead?
And like
of-
liches.
Does that make a card ban worthy? That's the question.
yeah. I mean, you could consider it like a game win, and then you're restarting to
You could
another
do- yeah,
game.
if you treated it the same way as Expropriate, which costs. the
So why did
same.
we ban
Yeah.
Shahrazad? It makes the game take too long. Isn't
That's
that the reason we
Because
said?
because it breaks the rules of the game. I think it's more Scheherazade banning it was closer to the dexterity cards in that sense than it was to
Mhm.
something like.
Because you
Switch
play
Stars
like
can be
another
banned.
game,
It's a sub game.
sub game.
Yes.
Well, you just
Because
copy
it's like-
Scheherazade. You
it's
play
just
like
like
20 sub
restarting
It
games.
bypasses the rules of the game. Scheherazade is say banned for the same reason that we should keep anti-cards banned. It's
Yeah.
I want your
Anti-cards,
cards.
yeah.
Give me your black mana crypt or something.
on
Yeah,
that
I'd
note,
say
I still want to
unbanned.
do a draft at some point where we do anti or we implement anti into the
No-
game. I'd like to
I would
see
love to do a cube stipulation for my cube where we have anti. That would be so.
Yeah,
but we would
I mean,
have
exactly.
4 packs
Cube,
instead of
but
3
you-
packs.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I mean,
That would
I
be so
have
sick.
contract from below and the maybe cards to go in my cube.
That's
Wow.
stupid.
Whenever you lose
Contract's
a
actually
game,
dumb.
your opponent gets a tutor from your deck and take a card out and put in and
Yeah.
remove it.
Just call it Battle City.
So
but change the name.
we're gonna move on from Sway to Stars, but don't let me forget because I want to talk about uncards at some point.
I hate uncards.
Not yet.
Same.
Sylvan Primordial.
I love them. putting a bunch
Unbanned.
of
I
black
love
border
Sylvan
sets.
Primordial. When
Sylvan
that card was
Primordial
banned,
is
I was so
fine.
sad.
Sylvan Primordial is fine.
I'm on the
I
same
remember
boat
when it was
as
banned.
Sunshine, banned for the casual players.
It's
Yep.
like prime
Same
time.
here.
I mean, it's 7
I
mana.
actually
There's more like people will rather a lot of casual players would rather play something like Avenger Zendikar than Sylvan Primordial.
so
I mean, Sylvan
So, Ian,
Primordial is insane card.
it is.
Ian, you were asking what you do with for fellows. This is what you do with for fellows.
Yeah, turn
Okay,
4.
I
It's
accept
turn
my bad.
4. It's not that good. Like,
You can get this turn 4 with for fellows.
yeah, it's not that good.
I would
Fellows
argue
is
get
slower
turn
than
3
people
with
What do you
fellows.
mean this is not?
No, I would
you
argue
do
get this
this
turn 3 with fellows.
Yeah, you
That's
put
like
this,
that's beatable.
you put
I think it's
turn 3
fine.
and you get to put all of your opponents behind a turn and suddenly you're tapping
But
for
like
10
other
mana.
commander decks can do this turn 3 way easier than fellas.
You gotta remember that casual play, like if you're thinking about it casually, casual players won't build the deck like that typically.
They'll
It's
build deck
still
like
yeet
flicker
out
this card,
Sylvan
and
Primordial.
that's how they'll build the deck.
I would
They-
put
they
Sylvan
build
Primordial on
like
like.
That's pretty toxic.
They
I just
build
want to
like a
build this in a
podcast
blink
and
deck
then
and just
flicker
blink
it.
Sylvan Primordial.
No, I think they'll
It's the
build a
most
deck like
degenerate
flicker, like
player
a
on the
rune.
face of the planet.
Deadeye Navigator, Sylvan Primordial.
Yeah, like they play like rune
isn't even
decks.
good anymore.
Ooh.
Deadeye Navigator sucks so
I
much more
love
than it used to.
Deadeye.
Dude, dead ass Navigator.
I don't know.
I
what
think
happened.
unban.
Unbanned.
I think-
I love this card.
I'm gonna stick with the Thunder and Titan argument, ban for the casual players.
Yeah, same here.
All right, we're gonna move on to Time Vault. This is
Love the artwork, hate the card.
Love the card.
Stays banned.
Can't be an
it's
opponent
so
that.
It's
Like,
such a toxic card that it doesn't even show up in Vintage Cube. It's like it's
yeah.
just toxic.
All right, glad we're on the same page here. I think we're gonna be on the same page here again. Time Walk
Stays banned.
Man,
Well,
definitely stays banned.
Sam, you're insane. You think this is unbannable?
well, okay. Hear me out. On turn 2, this is an explore effect.
Yeah.
Later on,
Which is
you
pretty
might as well
insane
be
in
playing
blue.
other more expensive extra turn effects.
Spell
I think
Seeker
this is
can tutor.
significantly. Okay, never mind. They should stay banned.
Yeah, this card is horrific. You're
This card
insane
is
if you think this.
crazy.
I
like
think okay. Out of all the Power 9, I think this is one of the more reasonable ones to like. If you have to
I
unban
agree with
one of
that.
the Power 9, if you have to unban one of the power piece of the Power 9 pieces that are banned, currently
Disagree.
I think
Mox Pearl.
Time Twister,
It's-
that's legal.
Mox Pearl. Disagree.
Okay,
I'd
never
say-
mind. You're right. You're right, Ian. Okay.
Or I say Mox Pearl or Ancestral Recall.
Ancestral Recall.
Ancestral Recall is.
I think
Draw 3 cards
think-
in a
yeah.
pod of 4 people isn't as bonkers as it is in like Cube and stuff, but it's definitely still bannable.
On the end of your turn,
like,
I'll
I
draw
would
3 on
love
turn 1.
this card to be unbanned. I love because like my favorite play in Edric is Mystical Tutor Temporal.
Edric.
Like,
Yeah.
It's just it's like why would you like Temporal Mastery is already really good. Like this is just
Yeah.
like it's just bad. Like
Time Walk is one
Terrible.
of my favorite arts in Commander, but
it's a great art.
I love the
Hilarious art.
art. But I do
Just like two
not
skeleton
wanna see
dudes
it
just walking
inside.
around.
I don't want to see it on the other side of the table from me.
Like what is the art? Are they just like is that hell? Like why are they skeletons?
Are we looking at different artwork? No, it's just Salvador Dali.
Oh,
his
that's
artwork.
true.
Kind of. No, not
Yeah.
really. Actually, no. He's the clock guy. Never mind.
Yeah,
got
he's
my
like
art
the melty clock boy.
We should
Yeah.
just
So-
transition this commander channel into an art channel.
You know, we should actually do an episode on that, talking about our favorite artists.
I
Top
like
10
that idea.
arts.
That'd be
I
cool.
like that idea.
Top 10
Well,
cards for art.
We could do that. This is
Comment
a
down
nice
below if you want to see an
brainstorming
art video. Next card.
session.
This card I think is a definite unban in Tinker.
only reason I don't want to unban this card is because you tinker the ball so they don't win.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You just
Turn
add-
one
That's what they
Bolas
do in
Citadel
vintage.
is
That's
pretty
what they do in
awful.
vintage with it.
Yeah. People always
Island
think
Mana
about
Crypt,
tinker
Tinker.
into like Blightsteel or something like that, and that's not powerful.
No, it's,
Bolas' Citadel is powerful.
Island, Mana Crypt, Bolas Citadel.
I still think it's unbanned.
Posted, that was a crazy card.
It is a crazy card.
Especially when you start at 40 life.
That's true. That's
Braga would love Tinker.
Like I think Tinker's in the same boat as Caracas for me. I'd love to see what it could do, but I don't want. I don't want to. I don't want to see
Don't
this
play
on a
against
regular
it.
I'd say
basis.
Caracas is much more
Like I think Reshape is
Iona,
a fine
but-
alternative. We don't need Tinker also.
Like if there was a commander unbanned tourney or something along those lines where we would showcase all the things that are on the ban list, I'd love to see the deck that runs this. But I don't ever want to see this at like a casual table. I don't want to sit. down
It's just
for
like a
month.
storm deck that runs like both Citadel. Like it's so like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just turn one win.
But
It would be the new. It would be the new fucking.
You need to use Bulls of Citadel to get to an actual win con in there.
Just make it
use
like a
cast
British
tutors.
Forever
If you
deck or
cast
something like
tutors
that.
with Boss Citadel, they're so broken.
But so that's just making a competitive deck because you're gonna need a critical mass of tutors there.
Do you think
Yeah,
but-
Bola?
Like
Do
this
you think a
could
Tinker
be
deck would be
CEDH
tier
deck.
1 in CDH?
No, because I mean it's one of the 99. You need to be able to tutor for this first, and then tutor for whatever wins off of Bulls of Citadel, and be
You
able
don't
to
need to
cast
do
that.
this. It's
Do you think
just,
it would be
this is
the
another
new win
card that runs
con?
you the game.
I
For
think
like
it
a
would
lot
be-
of CDH decks?
I think it would be a fine card in CDH, and I don't think it would be broken in casual.
Like, do you think Thrasios and Timna would play Tinkers, their win con, into Bolas Citadel?
I'd like to
The
see
only
a
reason
cast
why,
tutor deck
like,
with this.
I feel like demonic consultation's still just better.
like the reason why the
Sure.
Tinker is so powerful, in my opinion, is because of one card combo. That's
Yeah,
why.
you would only have to commit 2 spots, and those are both good
the
cards.
other card from Bolsa Citadel. You need a Tinker, you need an artifact to sack, and you need another card to win, like Aetherflux Reservoir or something.
I mean, I don't think that's that hard. Like, if you build your deck correctly around both Zelda, like that kind of combo, like it's
Yeah,
not hard to combo up.
But that's also
what
building a
Vintage does.
cEDH deck, and I don't think it would be a tier 0 cEDH deck. I don't think it would maybe be tier 1. And I think that would even be better if it is a tier 1 deck because of the fact that improves the meta. Adding another
Stay
deck
banned.
to the meta is great.
Ban.
And it's
Yeah,
also
I'm
like
gonna
a really big
skip
toolbox card. Like, what stops you from running this in like a stacks build where you get like any stacks card from your deck for like that?
Raya would love this.
I think that would be a great addition to a stacks build, but also Fabricate's a good addition to the stacks builds. Stuff like, I mean, it's definitely strictly better than that, but most stacks pieces that you're going to be running, you're not going to expect to be tinkering into. You're not going to be trying to run a bunch of big stacks pieces. You're going to still be running the smaller ones like Winter Orb.
I'm going to go back to Caracas on this one and say that if Caracas was too universally flexible and capable a card to be legal, then I think Tinker should fall under the same category.
That's fair. I see it as kind of like a Karn, like Karn Great Creator, except for the fact that it can actually
It's
go
not
into your
useless.
deck.
Should we move
I
on?
can agree with that. Yeah, I think we should probably move
Yeah.
on.
All right. So am I the only one that says yes to Tinker, though?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Next up, I think this one we're probably all going to agree on. Tolarian Academy.
Ban.
I
Unbanned.
so bad.
Definitely
I think
stay
banned. I'm gonna go get some ice cream. I'll be right back.
I think
This man and his ice cream.
I don't
This
know.
is
Like,
so for the listeners, this is like the 4th call we've had with Ian in the past week, and every single time he's taken a break to get ice cream.
Yep. Definitely ban Tolarian
I think
Academy.
it's different flavor this time.
It's too good. Yeah. What
Like,
do you think the flavor's gonna be?
Academy.
Going with-
I think if you can justify keeping Guy's Cradle in the format, then you could justify.
yeah, I
keeping
think you should unban. I'm
Academy.
saying unban this card.
Really? I think
How?
it's just more universal. Like
Like,
every deck plays artifacts. Not every deck has a high critical, because Guy's Cradle is harder to keep going because of the fact that you do need creatures are harder to keep around than artifacts, and every deck runs
You have
mana
a fair
rocks.
point.
I mean, but like for Fellows, like this, I think this card is similar to the like it ramps as hard as Fellows. I think, and it's like it's
Yeah.
I think it's comparable
I
to
agree.
Rafellos.
I think it
But
is.
yeah,
comparable to
and I said that Rafellos should be banned.
I think Rafellos
and I
should be
think this
unbanned. I
stay
said
banned.
Rafellos should be unbanned. I think
I think
Rafellos should stay unbanned.
I think it's a
Oh,
more
I thought he was on my
universal Rafellos. I think Rafellos should be unbanned. I think this should be banned. I think this would fit into more decks than Rafellos.
I think both should stay banned.
Only fit into mono green, maybe 2-color, maybe 3-color, but one or
Well,
the more colors you add, the worse he gets. Tolarian Academy
So-
always good.
But think about if how much artifacts you have to like put into your deck to justify Player Academy. Like some decks don't want to dilute their deck with so many artifacts. Of course, Urza would love this card,
I mean,
but some other decks like
say
would you
you're-
put this in like Tim the Thrasios? Like I don't think you would put this in Tim the Thrasios.
say
I
you're
wouldn't put
playing,
this in.
say you're playing any deck that doesn't have green in it. What are you using to ramp?
Artifacts, of course, but
So it's 13-ish slots, no matter what, easily.
What are we talking about?
Then we're talking about Tolarian Academy.
Tolarian Academy.
Okay, yeah.
And then along with those 13 ramp slots being all artifacts, you got other artifacts that go with your game plan. So maybe 17 to 20 artifacts in the deck.
does it warrant the conversation that if you somehow don't have artifact in hand, it's a dead card?
That's true. That's definitely true.
It's like Guy's Cradle.
But Guy's Cradle's harder to use because it's harder to keep creatures around than it is to keep artifacts around.
This also procs off artifact lands, which is
Yeah, it does. It also procs off artifact lands. Guy's Cradle procs off land creatures. Dried Arbor.
Right over. Yeah, we need more of those.
That'd be a sweet cycle to finish.
Mm-hmm.
How do you even finish that cycle, though? Is it
I don't
just a
know.
bunch of 1/1s with their respective basic land type? I don't think so.
The thing is, it doesn't fit any other colors. Like maybe
I still think Dwarven Mind is underrated as a card, but that's just my.
Dwarven Mine is sweet. Polymorph.
Yeah. Polymorph, yeah.
But yeah, Tolarian Academy. I think it's too powerful. I think it's more powerful than Raphaelos, in my opinion. I
can
think
agree with that.
Would Urza EDH play Tolarian Academy?
For sure.
Without a
Yeah,
doubt.
why would you?
Why would you not?
Any deck
It's
that
just
plays
potentially a dead card. Turn
every
one.
deck that plays more than like 15 artifacts would run it. Imagine this thing with what's it called? Mycosynth Lattice.
It's not
That's
Microsoft Lattice
too
not
much of
played
a
in
combo.
EDH. Microsoft Lattice not played in CEDH.
I play it in 2 decks, 3 decks now.
You're
I
insane.
play it in Brutaclad, I play it in Centriplets, and I don't remember the other deck.
That's crazy.
Imagine tinkering for Mycosynth Lattice and playing
That-
something else. Isn't there a stack space that like prevents artifacts from untapping or something like that? There's
Karn.
Karn.
there we
There's
go.
Stony Sounds, Karn, Kataki. There's No Rod. There's
Oh my God, Kataki. with
Well, the thing
Mycosynth
is,
tinkering to Mycosynth Lattice
Jason,
to
all the ones that you're
Kataki.
mentioning are universal, which would screw you over big time with Mycosynth Lattice.
yeah.
And some people just hate everything.
All right,
That's
Let's-
why you're playing Mycosynth Lattice.
all right. Let's finish up Tolarian
Pegasus Lattice is
Academy.
sick.
I say keep it banned.
Trade secret?
Probably keep
Yeah, this
banned.
is infringing almost upon.
No, no, Tolarian
Oh,
Academy.
Tolarian.
Finish
Sorry,
off Tolarian
I
Academy.
was
I
skipping
say
ahead.
keep Tolarian
Academy?
Academy banned.
I think it stays banned.
Jason,
I think it's
I would go for
definitely.
tentative unban. I would have tentative unban.
tentative unban.
I think the Gaia's Cradle should probably be banned also because
Well,
it's similar in power.
And you're
But
getting
just
at
but just like saying similar in power.
I think Tolarian
that this
Academy
card
is
should probably also be
significantly
legal.
easier. Tolarian Academy is significantly easier to proc than Gaia's Cradle.
Agreed.
That's true. I don't know. I think it probably should be banned.
All right. And we're all going to be in the same boat here. Trade secrets. This card's
breaks
just
the game just the
busted.
same way that
Keep it
Shahrazad
banned.
does.
The fact that this was made in a Commander product is wild.
This is the same one that we received like.
It wasn't originally from a command product.
Was it not?
No, I think it was
Yeah, well-
from Onslaught.
Let's
Do
see.
you think there's an older version of this card?
Onslaught, you're right.
Yep. Onslaught. Huh. Funny.
Yeah, it wasn't originally from it. It was a reprint.
Definitely a card that stays banned.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
It's like having 2 people with Consecrated Sphinx on a card.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Let's move on.
you turn a 4-person game into a 2-person game with this card.
Yes, exactly. Upheaval.
Ian's other favorite card.
I love Upheaval.
I would say unban on the
Ban Upheaval, unban Fastbond. Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Love the artwork, hate the card. I
Unbanned.
don't want to see.
Paul would
anyone-
love for
No.
Upheaval to be unbanned.
Oh, yeah.
Paul loves Upheaval.
If
Think
we're
of the
gonna
casual
do
players
that
ban Upheaval,
strategy,
but I think in CEDH it'd be very cool to play Upheaval.
I think it'd be
Upheaval's a horrible card, but I love the card.
as long as wheels exist, I don't want people to exist.
Wait, Ian, what kind of ice cream is it?
It's some nice chocolate ice cream right here.
Ooh.
I think that's different from last.
Blow that out. Blow that out.
Ooh, chocolate ice cream. Ooh,
What,
ooh.
what does the ice cream meta look like, Ian? Can you provide some
The
insight?
grocery store didn't have a lot of flavors left.
Ooh.
Sad.
So you
They
get
have
like,
chocolate. But I love chocolate.
Nobody likes chocolate.
that's probably like
Okay, that's fair.
chocolate's a tier 3 ice cream.
Do you
What?
spice it
You're
up with
insane.
anything? No. It's a toolbox flavor, CJ. You can add like caramel or peanut butter or like a.
Ooh, you had me
It's a
at
good
I-
base.
I'd like
It's
a
the
cherry.
perfect base ice cream along with vanilla.
Add like an amaretto cherry compote on top.
Ooh.
That'd be great.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Mm. What do you guys think about pistachio ice cream? Tier 4?
Tier
Never had it.
5. Upheaval.
It's a pretty decent homebrew.
Okay, comment button to bum below if you want an ice cream tier list.
Yes, comment down below if you want us to ice cream tier list.
We should do that.
I think we definitely should. Upheaval. We got to finish that.
We
Uh,
just
say ban.
ban.
I sound ban.
You
Unbanned.
want unban?
Oh, actually, no,
Have
actually,
you guys,
no.
have you guys ever
No,
played
what I was
against
saying
this
before-
card? You
No,
guys
what I
are
was saying before,
nuts.
actually, no. I was saying before. Ban
If
for
you
the
guys
casual players.
want, this card is
unban for
way
the sake of
worse than
CEDH.
balance. Like
I wanna
way
play-
worse.
Actually, I agree with Jason on this. I haven't like
Ban it for the casual players.
differentiated
wanna
so
see-
far. It should be banned for the same reason all the other asshole cards should be banned.
This is by far the worst asshole
about the
card. This card is horrible.
We'll talk about the
It's
split.
basically restart the game for 6 mana.
like just imagine upheaval, like float mana upheaval winds of change.
How about-
Upheaval literally says restart the game on it. Like no, like it's horrible.
How do you guys feel about a similar card being Wildfire?
What was my comment on Sway the Stars? Whatever opinion that I had for that, I think also applies here.
I mean, this is just end the game, not necessarily win the game.
Like
I
this
just
card doesn't
wanna-
restart the game. This card ends the game.
Yeah.
So you,
Like,
you
is there
just
any combo you can do with this
One.
card?
Oblivion Ring with something that deals damage on entering the battlefield to all your
Oblivion
opponents.
Ring on Goblin Chain Whirler, Wildfire.
Yeah. That
You
works.
could use Little Teferi to instant speed.
That seems
It's
like
a-
a totally fine combo.
Oh yeah, it's a fair combo, but the fact of the matter is that it's still 9 mana, reset the game, put everybody at 1, reduce everybody to top deck mode, which again, it's one of those things where it depends on what you want a ban list to accomplish. which we're
I
gonna
don't.
get
Yeah,
to
I
very
just
shortly.
I don't see a reason why to put it on the ban list. It's not going to be a fun card to play against, obviously. It will end the game just to make it a little slower and an anticlimactic ending. But
Really cool artwork though.
it's very cool artwork, and I don't think it'll end up seeing a lot of play even if it was unbanned. Like I feel like it's a card that they banned for no reason because it wasn't seeing any play anyways.
Mhm.
Like I don't see a reason for it to be here.
They
They-
banned it for a philosophical reason rather than a gameplay reason.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of dumb. Like I feel like this
Philosophy.
could totally be a fine card to be legal. It would rarely see play, and if it does, then there's other ways to end the game at 9 mana.
It's like Jokal
But I think
Hops.
Yeah.
we're almost getting ahead of ourselves though on that front, CJ.
Yes, yes.
All right, last card here, right?
Last card, Yawgmoth's Bargain.
Unbanned.
I have no idea.
It's very
Like-
similar to Grizzlebrand, except
like
Yeah, I probably said
Necropotence.
I'm banned on Grizzlebrand. Yeah,
it's
I think
better than
unbanned these cards.
Grizzlebrand. I think if Grizzlebrand is unbanned, or if this is unbanned, then definitely Grizzlebrand.
It's worse than Gristlebrand for sure because Gristlebrand is a creature. It's way easier to cheat in.
That's true.
Mhm.
That's definitely true. But it's
I mean,
costs
there's some
less
interesting
mana
things
straight
with
up.
Academy Rector.
Yes, this
but-
can do very cool things with Academy Rector.
The effect is busted, but it's balanced by the.
But like,
cost.
if you do this with Academy Rector, you're not even winning the game. Like, you're
Yeah.
just getting
Is-
a lot of card draw.
Is there a black deck that would not run this?
Oh, absolutely.
Probably.
Every deck play. I don't think every deck plays this.
Does every deck?
Not every deck plays Necropotence.
yeah,
not every
that's what I'm
black
saying.
deck
Does every
plays
black deck played
It's
Necropotence?
6
I don't think
mana.
it
It's a
will.
lot of mana.
Yeah, but Necropotence is triple black though. It's much easier to justify. It's much
That's
easier
true.
to justify double black than triple black.
What's another similar card to this, where you pay life to draw cards? I mean, does every black deck play Villas?
Kind of like Villas. Yeah.
But okay, Villas is different because you also have to sacrifice creatures for him.
Yeah.
If your deck doesn't play enough creatures, then you're not running Villas. Or not Villas. I'm thinking of
I don't think every deck
So-
would play
Ra-
this.
my head jumped to Razaketh when you said Villas.
Yeah.
Villas, you have to pay mana. And
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Villas,
you
you have
do.
to pay mana. And he costs more to boot.
I
And he's triple
can't
black.
think of a good comparison. That's,
Exactly.
Necropotence.
Oh, it's ad nauseum.
Oh yeah,
Is
yeah,
the
yeah.
closest comparison that I can think of.
Hmm.
And ad nauseum's only used for combos, really.
Well,
I've
ad
never
nauseum is a bad example because you could draw 1 and lose 10. Like,
I've never seen
Yawgmoth
ad nauseum.
can-
True, but if you're playing ad naus, then you're playing a deck that also has like 60 cards that cost 1 or less.
yeah,
Yeah.
but Yawgmoth's Bargain, you don't have to do that. You could just draw like 30 cards no matter what they are.
Agreed. Ad
yeah,
naus is
that's why I
also
think you should
instant
unban.
speed.
I think you should unban Yawgmoth. Like, I don't think it's that.
Yeah,
I think it
it'd
could
be
be
a
unbanned.
tentative unban for me. I agree.
Unban.
All right, and that closes off the actual ban list. We did it, boys.
Interesting. Yeah, that was interesting.
Next up, what do you want to talk about here?
We likely had a lot of very incorrect opinions.
Yeah.
This is a lack of
Like
experience.
in the comments, we'd like people to tell us
Roast
why
us
we're
in the
wrong.
comments.
Are there
Like
are
to
there any
me,
cards that you guys think should be banned that currently are not
I'm
banned?
excited to see your guys like really niche reasons why they shouldn't be banned or banned. And I want
it again, a lot of it boils down to my personal opinions on what a ban list should be, especially in the context of a format like Commander. There are things that I don't want to see across the table from me, but that doesn't mean that they should be on an official ban.
We should just ban players instead.
Ooh, we should ban you.
That's it.
You only play.
Well,
Social
ban me.
distancing.
Ban me. I deserve it.
Tactical social distancing. I like it.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Just ban
Personally,
people.
I don't have a single. I can't think of any cards that I would want to see on the ban list that are currently unbanned. The only thing I could think of would be I would have rather seen Protean Hulk get banned than Flash.
Mhm.
And
My only disappointment about the
maybe-
Flash ban is
maybe
that I never
Tana.
got to do my.
or Timna, maybe Timna. I wouldn't mind. Like I don't want to see Thrasios banned, but I wouldn't mind seeing Timna banned so that way it's no longer a tier 0 commander. Because Thrasios is just more fun than Timna is.
But I really like building with Timna though.
I know
built
you
like
do.
4 different Timna decks.
No,
I want Soul
He's
Ring banned.
So good.
you want Soul Ring banned?
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
But like, why not
I feel
ban
like
Mana Crypt along with Soul Ring? Like,
Ban both.
You'd have to. You would have to ban both
Yeah.
if you're banning one.
I think that's fine to ban both. I think it's
Yep.
cool banning both. Because like I play Artifact Hate.
My
Should
3
Cycrypt
mana
be banned?
crypts- My 3 mana crypts
No.
and like 40
No.
Soul Rings would all be crying if that happened.
Yeah, I have like 10 Soul Rings.
I have a Soul Ring in every deck.
Yeah.
I have a couple extras.
There's only like
Exactly,
one
you have a
deck
Soul Ring in every deck.
in
Like,
Magic. There's only like one deck that actually doesn't want Soul Ring, and that's
Animar.
competitive Animar decks. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
much it.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
but
definitely
what do you
occasion-
think about Cycrypt? Should Cycrypt be
I
banned?
think Cycrypt should not
No
be
way.
banned. It is
no way.
I think it's
only glue.
it's a
It's the only good board wipe Blue has. The only one.
Curse of the Swine isn't bad.
It's not bad, but
I like
it's
it.
so
Thunder's okay. Is that the
expensive.
one? Oh, Evacuation, I mean.
Evacuations? It's all creatures. Like
I
it's
mean,
So,
yeah. Like,
Is wait. Is Sunder not banned in Commander?
Sunder is not banned in Commander.
it's
Oh
not.
god, that's disgusting.
Sam's like brew time. Lands.
I thought it was banned this entire time. I didn't realize that it was still like.
Oh,
It's time. You gotta build it. It's time.
Interesting card, yeah.
No.
It's
But
time.
the card's
Not gonna be
instant.
that.
Wow, I didn't even know.
Overburden is fun too. Mm.
I run that inside Lavinia.
Ian just
I run
Of
throws it
course
into
you
Sunder
do.
in
the
there too, actually.
I gotta get an overburn.
It's
for
good in
Tatiana.
shoe lane. I think Overburn's very good in shoe lane.
Yeah.
Anyone got an overburn for trade?
We're getting off topic.
Yeah, we
Very
are.
off topic.
What
What are we talking about? Oh yeah,
only
what should
card
be banned?
I could think of that should be banned that isn't is Stasis, just because if it's being
No.
played, if it's being played, then it's 2 mana and it's 5 mana, game's over. Stasis and Derevi.
I mean, not exactly. You also need something else because Derby has to untap herself with her effect. So it's not just a 2-card combo.
That's
Like
true,
you need,
true.
it's like a 3-card. Like it's much more intricate. Like you would need like a Teferi Hero Dominaria, like upticking to untap your lands that you pay for stasis. You need 2 Derevis with like Sakashima and Spark Double to
There's
like
a lot
have
of ways to
stasis.
do it, though.
Yes, but it is a 3-card combo. Like it's
Yeah.
not just like you play stasis with Derevi and you win.
That's true. That's true. It's just it's a combo that doesn't actually end the game, and it's really, really boring to play against. I mean, it's fine. I've seen it played once at a casual table, and that's the only reason why I kind of think this. Like in cEDH, it's very powerful, but I wouldn't say it's backbreaking. It's the only card that I'd be on the fence with.
I think because you need some other way to really break the card is fine.
Yeah, I
'Cause-
don't think anything else should be banned. I agree. Sorry, I just
It's like-
completely said something random.
I like.
I
a
guess
small
like just like
ban list.
I just like Soul Ring Mana Crypt is the only thing I can think of because
Just
Soul
I'm
Ring
ban
Mana Crypt.
cards, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with the meta having those cards. Like I'm fine playing against Soul Ring Mana Crypt. I'm fine playing Soul
Yeah.
Ring Mana Crypt. Like it's the reason why I'm putting Artifact Hate in my decks. Like
because I'm fine
don't
with
think-
them. I don't want to see them banned. Like it would just be, like every single precon has had Soul Ring, and it would just be a very, very, like a dick move, I guess, for RC or
Yeah.
RC to do to Wizards
The powers
because
that be.
it's just in every single deck that they've made.
From a cEDH standpoint, is there anything else you'd want banned?
That's
I haven't seen the meta.
Consultation,
I haven't
yeah,
seen the meta revolve
yeah.
around consultations, Tainted Pact, that's
Yeah.
Oracle
It-
yet because Flashbang
I
is so
think
new.
It depends on how it evolves and whether things get homogenized.
I think I would have rather
It's-
seen Flash stay legal and Thassa's Oracle get the ban.
Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah. Or maybe Grand Abolisher even.
Grand Abolisher.
I don't know.
I'd rather like I don't know. Maybe
think
this
Flash
is
is the
because I don't
problem.
play. I
Flash
think
is kind of the problem. It's banned in
Flash is
Legacy. for a
definitely a
reason.
problem, but was a problem. But
Can we ever consider banning consultations? What do you guys think?
I don't know
I'd
enough.
consider it.
We would
I-
have
I-
to see it, I
like,
think, more.
I don't know nearly enough about competitive EDH.
I mean, it's
myself.
definitely
I don't
now the best
see it
deck in
nearly enough.
the format.
Yeah.
Is what my guess is.
We would have to see
The thing
if
is,
it's too bad.
What happens if consultation gets banned? Like, what happens to the format?
If consultation gets banned, then that means that the
Icy
rules
Ground
are
Scepter?
going to be more hands-on with cEDH in particular, which would be
Yeah,
very
I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, I think it'd be really cool if consultation's banned because then like they spurs like all these new decks that have like different win cons.
they would need to all right, this is actually a good segue into the next topic being should there be a separate ban list for EDH and cEDH?
No.
Yes.
I think it would become very
Ooh.
confusing. It would basically make
I
two
think
formats,
no.
but there
want two
are cards that
formats.
are totally fine
I-
with EDH, and that would actually help the format that are apparently too good for regular Commander, like Paradox Engine. Paradox Engine was a horrible ban from a cEDH standpoint, but from a casual standpoint, it was more understandable.
That's where I think you need. We this is where I have opinions. It's just if we're to take Rule 0 seriously to any capacity, I think that the only reason to have a ban list in the first place is from a competitive standpoint. It's because if you have Rule 0, a rule that is supposed to protect the
Did you say what Rule 0 is
integrity
again?
of it. Rule 0 is basically if you play something, you can play something. If you want to ban something, you can ban something. But it's usually used to justify in contexts of individual. So the four of us could play Iona if we wanted to in our decks, as long as we agreed to do so. The four of us could ban Soul Ring if we wanted to, as long as we agreed to do so. It was
It's
one of the
house
bigger
rule.
it was one of the bigger arguments against banning Flash in the first place. They were basically saying, oh, competitive EDH players can just use Rule 0 to ban Flash at tables and everyone's happy and everything like that. And my point is that if Rule 0 matters to that capacity, then the same could be said for literally any card that anyone wants to ban or unban on personal feelings alone, or on the basis that it is an unfun card to play against, like Coalition Victory or anything similar. So I think that if we're to take Rule 0 seriously to any amount, then no card should be banned for anything that is for fun or because it makes tables unfun, because you can just use Rule 0 if your play group agrees that the card is unfun to ban the card in your own personal play group. The only context where you can't use Rule 0 is at a tournament setting or at like a GP or a Magic Fest where everybody at the table is a complete stranger. Where you're
Unless the
often
GP came
incentivized-
out and said Flash is banned.
Yeah, like if there's a GP imposed ban list, but what you're saying is, I agree 100%. All of that.
Yeah, the only reason to
100%.
ever have a hard unified ban list is for contexts where players can't use Rule 0, in my opinion, and those are also the same exact contexts where players are actively incentivized to play optimized decks in the first place, to
I
play
see that, yeah.
competitively.
There's
So
no
the
reason.
only context where a ban list is relevant is one where competitive diversity and similar things are the things that are most relevant.
There's no
I agree
reason
with
to have
that.
a ban
Yeah.
list unless it's for a competitive purpose, and there's no reason to have some of these cards on the ban list because they're not banned for a competitive purpose.
So do you
Exactly.
think then that there should be no ban list for regular Commander and have only a ban list for competitive
I
Commander?
think
It's
that
all
we
one-
should have two ban lists in the sense that we have Rule 0 on one end and then a competitive ban list on the other.
Yes,
So you
I
think
agree.
Rule 0 should be its own ban list?
It's not. It's
Well,
not
I
really a
think
list.
it's-
It's like a
it's-
house.
So it's not a
ban
list, but it says Rule 0
Yeah, it's
is
a
your
house
ban
rule.
list.
Yes, I think we should just place more emphasis on the importance of Rule 0 and encourage players to use Rule 0 more.
The
in
problem
their
with Rule
playground
0
and
is
not
just like, what if
sit
you're
quiet.
just some random dude who goes and just like, I want to play
LGS is
some
gonna random
Commander.
LGS. The thing is, I guess LGSs would have to have their own self-imposed house rules.
But then you have to build your
I
own
mean-
deck for a specific LGS, and
I mean,
so
typically it would be like only a couple cards that are not like you probably just won't be able to play your stacks deck at this particular LGS, but you can play any of your other decks, stuff like that, or like,
But, like,
cards in your stacks deck.
That's
what if the
so
LGS
like
goes really extreme and is like you can't win before turn 5? Then that's like super like
And
that's crazy.
A
I've played those
bad
before.
LGS.
yeah.
I've seen
played in
those.
tournaments
That's
before,
that's
way
an
back in
LGS
the
that's
day.
geared towards casuals, not towards full audience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is nothing wrong with playing
Zeros.
casual.
Then you have that one player at the table who's like, what turn is it, guys? By the way, just
Yeah.
so I know.
Yeah, just get some for my just for my own information for later, not now.
yeah.
also,
Just
like- It's also a good idea just because with the like a lot of these cards won't see play even if they were unbanned regular commander because of the fact they're not fun to play against. Typically people, if they're playing casually, want to have a fun deck to play and want the deck to be fun for their opponents. I don't see somebody that wants to play casually to casually ruin other people's games.
I think that group hug ruins games, but Jason knows
This is
that.
Ian we're
That's-
talking
that's
about.
you
He's got
hate
the most
fun, Ian.
controversial-
I hate group hug.
Ian
I
hates
hate
group
group hug.
but it's stacks him
That's
out.
because nobody ever hugs you, Ian.
Stacks them out. Stacks them out. Stacks is required.
See, Ian, I feel like you like when your opponents can't play the game, but when everyone can really play the game, you don't like it. Like I mean,
I hate it.
because it's contrasting
I hate it.
philosophies, you know.
I
Yep.
think the group hug defeats the purpose of some decks, which is to ramp, and then it makes the deck invalidated.
But then you ramp even
Great.
harder group hug.
Take
you know?
take green down a peg. Oof.
We're getting a little off topic here, but
It's fine.
All right, what was the next thing I wanted to
I
talk
think the
about?
reason.
Oh, you got something more, Jason?
I think that's the only reason why, like, I think that, like, a good component for why there should be a separate ban list is because it makes it easier to run events. Because most commander events are run, say, like, with, like, participation prizes because they want people to play for fun and not for competitiveness. But as
Yeah.
soon as you introduce a competitive standard for a commander event, then people are encouraged to play, like, optimized decks, to play, like, the very
Yeah.
best to win. And you can't really, like, harsh on them for, like, doing that because you're putting a prize. You're playing a placing
I
prize.
think that's one of the toughest things about Commander, in my
Yeah, 'cause-
opinion, is trying to
Tournaments.
encourage players to attend tournaments and events, but also trying to encourage the casual, fun environment that is the reason why Commander exists. in the
yeah,
first place.
Commander is kind of built for fun, so tournaments are kind of
Incidental.
like, yeah, like, they're against the purpose of the format.
That's true.
You still have people who want to compete, who want to.
Yeah, because
Like,
people are like wanna-
Everyone would be like, oh, I would love to go to a tournament with my fun
Every-
casual deck just for fun, but then they think, oh, but I'm just gonna play against some CDH thing.
Everybody wants to secretly show off why their jank homebrew is actually the best thing.
I would
in
love to
history
go
of
to
cards.
like a only jank commander tournament, but you can't
You
make
can't
sure that
gauge
everyone's doing that.
I think that's where Commander cubes can be a really cool thing to have.
This
I
guy.
agree.
Or I think interesting thing to do is you go on Tapped Out and they have like EDH tier list and you have to like only choose a commander from below a certain tier, like the
Tapped out also has,
uncompetitive.
Tapped out also has like the percentage of competitiveness when you build a deck, so you can try like
This is why we use.
yeah, you can set a tournament up with like your deck's got to be on tapped out and it's got to have like
It's interesting. I didn't know that.
percent competitiveness. It's got that little bar there.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
This is why you have
actually,
an
yeah.
official ban list for that is specifically designed with
Wow, that is
competitive
interesting.
magic in mind.
Like it's instead of having like specific cards banned, it's you can have any of those specific cards in your deck, but you can only have so many of them.
Like it would be like like Highlander, where they can only have point values.
I
I like that
similar-
actually.
Similar to that.
That's a topic I'd like to talk about
Oh,
at
yeah.
some point about because that's one of this is more of a personal matter, but I typically enjoy casual games less when people have a bunch of tutor effects, when they have a lot of consistency cards involved and everything. It just like homogenizes the gameplay and you don't get to again, I think I have kind of a minority opinion in that sense in the play group. I love 3-hour games, while I know Ian, on the other hand, fucking hates them.
What do you
With a
mean? I
passion.
love stacks. I love 3-hour games.
I
That's different.
play Troma. I don't mind 3-hour games.
I've had 4-hour games before, and I've had a good time. I don't like 4-hour games where it's just one guy doing everything. I don't like that.
You like 4-hour games where
Stacks,
nobody's
that's what Stacks
I
does.
like nobody's doing anything. That's the best game. I'll play a land and fence.
Tap to the state's tap.
I'll go to discard.
Ian's the person who would like make 4 copies of Mindslaver, then play Hive Mind, then play Mana Severance just to kill everybody's lands, and then just pass the turn.
I don't like land destruction very much. I like lands not on tap. That's good.
They can't untap if they don't exist.
Ooh, that is smart. I might have to change the list a little bit.
Armageddon.
Balance. Unbanned balance. Upheaval.
Next thing I wanted to discuss real quickly is what do you guys think about a banned as commander list? Because that used to be a thing in the past.
I hate it.
I think it's unintuitive.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd like to see one,
too
but for the
complicated.
sake of new players and other things like that, I don't think it should be.
Yeah, it makes it super complicated. Like I think it goes against like the whole spirit of Commander. I feel like.
That's totally fair.
I
There's
feel like the point of Commander is just it's simple.
I
It's a
think
big draw.
Yeah.
the commanders that are banned are commanders that would be relatively fine in the 99, and I don't see much of an issue seeing them as a commander for the most part. Like we already discussed that, but I agree. Probably just keep it as a single ban list just to make it more conducive to new players. And
Like I think one of like the big draws of Commander is I can just like pull some random shit out of my binders. Like I don't want to have to be like, oh, it's only banned here as a commander. And like that would just be too confusing.
That's why I hate the hybrid mana discussion for the exact same reason. If
Okay.
you want to,
Yeah.
oh, is
I
that,
hate
is that the
hybrid
next
mana
topic?
discussion.
so I want to talk about that one really bad. This is a topic that I am very, very I got a big opinion on this one.
Is this also like the Phyrexian
opinion?
mana topic also?
Yeah,
I actually
yeah.
hated that video when he posted it.
I haven't watched it.
Oh,
what
it's
is it?
like
Sorry about that.
plus
your
I think
dog
he posted like a 2-minute video today.
Hold on 1
on
second,
his-
guys.
He was commenting on the Phyrexian mana thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen the video, but that looked pretty
It
bad.
was 2 minutes of him saying no, fuck this, and then he just stares at the camera for like 30 seconds.
That's pretty horrific. I don't like that. Yeah, but banned as commander is too complicated. I don't like it.
Too complex.
Too complex.
You can't have
Yeah.
something that's banned and not banned at the same time in a format as casual and supposedly new player friendly as Commander. And that opinion leaks into my opinion on the hybrid mana discussion, which I'm sure we'll
Mhm.
delve into more as soon as CJ gets back.
I think the
Ready to go?
hybrid mana
back.
discussion, everyone puts so much emphasis on the hybrid mana discussion, but hybrid mana cards, most of them suck. So, like,
So
what is the
that's-
discussion so big about it?
It's just the fact that
Why do people care?
it's not allowed. So hybrid mana was originally designed to make it so these cards could be played in more decks, easier to play. And because of the rules of Commander, it does the exact opposite of that. These cards are made with the idea of they can be played. They're in the flavor of both mono, like Boros Reckoner, in the flavor of both mono white and mono red. Like that's otherwise. That's
Are they though? Like Metamorpho is not mono green card.
It's not, but it's like that's what the idea of hybrid mana was. But it was
Mhm.
supposed to be the card can be played in either color pie, and
Sure.
it's
hate it.
designed to be able to be played in more decks. That's the whole point of hybrid mana, but
Mhm.
it's completely flipped in Commander.
So can I play Dismember in my Heliod deck?
Uh,
Because I can pay life and not spend
no,
black
'cause
mana?
that's different because
on
it's still black. Like you can play Unmake in
No,
your
it isn't.
Heliod deck.
Nobody ever spends black mana on Dismember.
That's true, but that's different.
Mono green decks in modern love Dismember.
Those have a specific color. If it was like a hybrid
Ian-
Phyrexian mana,
I know
Okay,
about
so-
that.
We're going to derail the topic for a hot second and talk about how Ian got bodied by Dismember in a modern
It was
tournament.
the worst. I was in the finals of an IQ, and then I went for the combo and against mono green, because I was like, they can't have anything, and then they just fucking dismembered my combo, and I lost the tournament.
Case in point.
Wait, do you get second place? You got second
I got
place, Ian?
second.
You got second place
Oh,
because
wow.
this
Wait,
was the
you lost against
dumbest.
mono green?
Yeah, mono
This
green in
was-
the finals.
So for context, this was in the middle of Hogak's summer, and the finals of a modern IQ were Jeskai Cat combo versus Mono Green Stompy.
And also in that top 8 was like Niv, like 5-color Niv. Like it was the most silly top 8 I've ever seen in my life. 5-color
sounds
Niv
actually
was
really fun.
undefeated before the finals. Like
That sounds really
fun
fun.
time.
Wow.
I
it was
enjoyed that.
insane. It was crazy. Get
Anyways, back on topic. Yes, if hybrid mana is allowed, then Phyrexian mana should be allowed. Everybody has a life total, therefore it's within the identity of every deck to cast hybrid to cast Phyrexian mana cards.
I want to get pro of my mono white deck.
suppose it's. I haven't really thought about
problem I have-
mana for
The
it.
reason I disagree with Kenobi's video.
The problem I have with hybrid mana is when you play them in for example, when you play Metamorphose in a mono green deck, you're violating the color pie of what green can do, and that's the biggest problem I have with hybrid mana. Like you should not be able to filter mana with mono green.
The point
and
of
draw a
hybrid
card.
mana, though, I mean,
Sylvala
you can do
does.
colorless. You can filter mana in colorless with like Arkham's Astrolabe and anything similar to that. The whole point
like
of
gemstone array and things like that.
the whole point of being hybrid
Green
mana
can definitely filter
is that
mana.
it's supposed to fit into both color pies. Like that's any
Thematically?
sort of hybrid mana. That's what it's supposed to mean.
Sure. But intuitively, for the same reason we can't have separate commander ban lists, I think we should keep hybrid mana off the table for monocolored
That's fair.
decks and
That's
similar
fair.
things.
I would
You
just
can't
like to
show somebody a green-white card like Kitchen Finks and say, yeah, sure, you can play this in your monocolored deck, but you can't play this white card with a blue kicker cost.
True.
You
That's
can't play
fair.
Dismantling Blow inside of that same deck. If spiritually the idea behind a hybrid mana card is that you can play in either colored deck, then why can't I just play the front end of Dismantling Blow in my white-green deck?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Agree.
Where do you draw the line?
I would just like to see it. Like
Hybrid mana cards suck.
any
All
in
of them.
particular.
Yeah.
There's some
All of them.
solid ones. Like I mean Murkfiend Liege would be good and just
You know what's the best hybrid mana card?
Azor's the
Luris.
Locutors.
Luris is the best
Yes!
hybrid mana card.
I love that card.
Luris is the best card in Magic.
It is the best card in Magic.
Yeah,
Luris is the best card in Magic ever printed. Hands down.
You can cast Black Lotus from your graveyard, turn 1.
Luris is broken.
Easy.
Luris is
Bust it
going to
in
break
half.
every format.
Yep.
It already did.
It's interesting how Garuda broke the formats first, though.
I love that. That card is sweet.
I've
I'm
been
playing
having so much
Garuda on
fun in
standard
Arena.
right now. My win rate's like 80%. It's insane. The deck's
I
broken.
just jammed 4 copies of Grafdigger's Cage in the sideboard and I watch them cry. Easy money. Because they have no
I
interaction.
can't believe that
period.
they worded it that Leyland of the Void doesn't stop it. That's so stupid
It's
to me.
hilarious.
It's so unbelievable
Stupid
that
as
they didn't word it like
fuck.
correctly.
What was the next part?
Anything else to talk about? What's the next topic?
I'm just checking. I don't have any topic in particular left. If anyone has anything in particular, I wanted to mention silver bordered cards.
I hate it.
No way. No way.
Yep,
Not-
same
I
here.
don't, I
No,
don't want to say
no.
all silver bordered cards.
Booster
So-
tutor, we need it. Give me
No,
booster
kill them all. Kill them all.
I am a huge fan of silver bordered cards becoming black bordered in the future.
That's what I'm
Like
thinking.
I like it. I like how
I like the
Ikoria
silver bordered
had like
commanders.
Yes, like I want to see Griselda Monster Masher inside.
The silver
Commander.
bordered commanders are really cool, but everything else is horrible.
I don't want to play against old Buzzspark on a casual Friday night. That's
Yeah,
that's way too much for me.
Well, bingo. You
Monster
know, play
Masher is
bingo.
just mutate.
Oh,
Just play
Against the
mutate.
Grand Calcutron.
Oh, I hate that.
I was so disappointed to find out that your hands in the program are identical for all intents and purposes. I wanted to Ancestral Recall with Brainstorm so badly with that.
Oh my god.
Because initially I thought that's what it was, that you would basically
Yeah.
draw 3 cards, add them to your program, then you couldn't put 2 cards from your hand back on top of the library. But that happens, apparently. You have to put stuff from your program back on top. Sucks. I don't like it.
Does anyone have anything in particular they want to talk about before we end this off?
Well, are we gonna expand more about cEDH and EDH becoming their
Yeah.
own?
Yeah, that's actually, I completely forgot about that topic. What is your guys' opinion on doing that? I'm not sure.
Sorry?
Splitting like 2 formats being Commander and cEDH.
For the same reason that we shouldn't have casual modern and competitive modern, I don't think we should have
But the thing is
cEDH
that
and
Modern
DDH.
is built to be a competitive format, so there would be no reason to have a casual one.
Disagree.
Commander was built as a
My first genuine exposure to like playing Magic consistently was through Modern. My friends and I would build decks and recognize that certain cards had new borders and therefore they were Modern legal. This wasn't correct. Obviously, I was playing Play for Power in one of my decks for a while.
I don't think
But,
that's
like,
legal.
That was the that's what I'm saying. It's not legal, but I didn't realize that at the time. My point was that all of us built Modern decks, but they were very casual. We tried going to a Modern event with our stupidly casual decks, and it obviously didn't work. But like, my point is
that's
that
what
for
I'm
the
saying.
same reason, yeah. But I wouldn't want
the
to
purpose of Modern. It's advertised as a competitive format. That's how it's advertised. Commander is advertised as a casual format. So
okay, but we're just inversing that then. So for the same reason that casual Modern shouldn't become a separate format from competitive.
but nobody
Modern,
plays casual Modern. There's
Modern.
no outcry for it.
I would totally play some casual Modern if I could. Like, I want to play like Liliana's Contract in Modern. That'd be interesting.
How
It's
the
just
hell would
kitchen
you have another
kitchen
ban
table
list?
Modern.
Arcana,
God.
yeah, no, that's the thing. It's just physically not really
Like-
possible to do. Like, you'd have to just ban everything that's being played in normal Modern to be able to make a casual format of it.
Modern, but ban everything. ban
The
everything that's
thing I don't
played.
like about
They'd have to change it on a monthly basis, and you just ban everything that was in the most top eights.
Oh my god.
like the biggest argument I have.
You built that deck? Oh, it's banned now. Whenever you build the deck, it's instantly banned. Like, it would just be standard.
The biggest problem I have with like competitive and like casual is because like I feel like making competitive like a separate format won't stop casuals from trying to get into competitive with their casual decks. Like, say you're making like a competitive event with the competitive ban list. What's going to stop a casual from like walking in, getting stopped, and hating the format? And like,
Well, it's not
are
their
you
format.
happy
It's a
that guy
different
hates the
format.
format? Are you happy that a guy like leaves like hating the format?
But it's a different format as a thing. Sure, they can hate competitive Commander. It's not the format that they built the deck for.
Like the thing about making like a specific competitive like commander like ban list is I feel like it makes it like less inclusive. Like, this is like, you're different than us. Like if you want to play with us, you have to be very competitive. You have to have the best cards, and like that's like the mentality people will go like when they start to like want to delve into competitive like commander, because like you're gonna try and delve into competitive commander like, oh, I don't have the budget for that. Like, all these cards are expensive. Like, because obviously competitive commander cards are a lot more expensive than casual commander cards.
But if you walk into a Modern tournament with a standard deck, you're supposed to lose and hate it.
Yeah.
Ian, no fun, Braverman.
You're supposed to hate it and quit Magic and play Hearthstone. That's the point.
Can we get a gift cap of that? Just make it a reaction on cEDH Discord or something like that.
The point of the story, quit Magic. That's the
Probably
point of the video. Moral of the
I do think
story.
it would be interesting though if it did happen, just because a format tailored to competitive commander, like ban list wise and everything, could result in much more balanced gameplay. Like, because for the longest time, Flash Hulk was just by far the best deck in the format. Like, I keep saying Tana. Timna Thrasios, tier 0 commander. Everyone, like, if you're not playing Thrasios Timna, you're playing a worse commander. Like, it would be interesting to see what would happen if they did separate the format or do a separate ban list for the format. But they'd have to separate it, not do a separate ban list, unless they did like what Sam was talking about, being the ban list catered toward a more competitive theme, while non-competitive players use rule zero for the most part.
That's building off that. That's my main argument for why there should be 2 main lists, because like if the competitive people want to get a card banned, it's so hard for them to get a card banned. Like Flash, it's just impossible for them to get. It was so hard. They had to complain for so long because the regular commander committee was like, we don't want to ban this. But if there's an entire group of like thousands of people who are like, we want this banned, but we can't get it banned, doesn't that mean that there should be a different ban list? Because like, if they're not allowed to have a ban, I don't know. I just feel like there should definitely be a second ban list just for the ability to ban cards that they want banned. If they're not allowed to ban things, then it doesn't make sense to me.
Or at least just have like, if there's 10 people on the RC, just make one of them strictly a competitive commander player, so that way they can have like input. Like it would be a relatively good balance on the amount of cEDH players to regular commander players, and it would give a good perspective for the cEDH players. Like cards that wouldn't really affect, like Demonic Consultation, if that blows up, that wouldn't really affect casual commander, but it would be a huge cEDH, like it would be blowing up cEDH. And the likeliness of it getting banned is extremely low unless like we all complain immensely.
Yeah. And the thing is that cEDH players, well, my thinking is that cEDH players are always going to be more vocal than regular commander players, because regular commander players, they just throw shit in a deck and then they play. Like they're not like, they don't care about what's banned or not, the super casual people. So of course the competitive people, even though they're a small part of it, are going to be a lot more vocal because they're playing a competitive format. They want things to be banned because they actually
Just like the
see
competitive modern player base.
You're thinking now.
They're dwarfed by the casual modern player
There's
base.
a large
Yeah.
gap, though, between those that just throw decks together, not knowing or caring whether or not the cards are banned, to competitive commander, because the majority of the players are between there, building decks that are like 6s to 8s, just synergistic, powerful decks, but definitely not cEDH decks.
But what I'm trying to like say is that like the people who are like the super casuals need a voice because they're not going to be vocal. They're not going to be saying stuff.
What do the super casuals care though?
Yeah.
What do they need a voice for?
Yeah, they don't care about Flash then, I guess.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. I mean,
They can flash out an exclamation as a ritual effect as
I-
often as they want.
I had
I
it.
guess
never
because
got
they're
to
going to
do
be
that.
tier
I'm
for that
very
zero.
purpose.
They're going to be rule zero, whatever they want.
The majority of the
That's
player
the
base.
important of Rule Zero.
The majority of their player base did not care about the Flash ban, except for the cEDH community, which, for the vast majority, very much approved of this banning.
Is there an argument then that the ban list should only be tailored towards cEDH because super casuals don't even look at
Agreed.
the ban list; they just throw shit in?
That's exactly what Sam was already saying.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I'm reiterating Sam. Then I'm sorry.
Even like the not super
I agree with Sam.
casuals, but like not cEDH players, but just below cEDH players, ban list doesn't really affect them that much.
I mean, I want Sway of the Stars in my deck.
Sway of Star seems totally fine. I want to play Coalition Victory. Coalition Victory seems awesome.
Like I was
my
saying
primetime
before, I
deck.
don't think that like casual players want to play against Sundering Titan. Like even though it doesn't.
That's
affect
true, but
competitive.
I don't think casual players
Rule Zero.
play Sundering Titan.
I
Just
think
Rule
that's
Zero
fine.
that
A
if you
blink
play-
deck, if you do just like a casual blink deck, like I'm just gonna throw in Sundering Titan so I can blow plans.
But I don't think casuals are
You
like
did that with
super like.
done anyways.
I don't think
players
casuals
don't
are the kind of
ban.
people to be like, I want this ban. Like, I don't think casuals care about bans. They're just like, oh, that's a strong card. Like, I don't think they think
I
about
mean,
it like
of
that.
course, casuals get salty. I feel like a lot of casual people get salty when you play against like more competitive decks, right?
Yeah,
But I've played against casuals who are like, oh my god, Fairy Hero of Dominator, that card's busted because they don't know what's busted and not. So do they really
that
care?
is very casual.
The
the
super
casual that
casuals,
you're talking about is just super casual.
like super casuals, will see any card and be like, wow, that's busted.
Wow, that card was good in Standard. That's gotta be busted here.
Dream Trawler, busted.
Just saying, we don't have any problem with casuals. We just are there's a stereotype around them.
Ban Dream Trawler. 2019, 2020.
Off topic, but you think that could be good in Standard? Like a Jeskai Dream Trawler deck with Riel and everything
I
like
love
that?
Dream Trawler.
I love Dream Trawler.
Jeskai Cycling
With
Control.
Riel would be
that could
really
hot.
good. Because
Which
it's
one's
a
Riel again?
card outlet. You could just dig through your deck.
Riel, first time you
it's
discard a card,
first
each of
time.
your turns, you draw that many.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the card that's seeing playing Phoenix, yeah.
So you could cathartic
Jeskai-
and draw 5.
I'm
You-
thinking
a
like a
free-
Jeskai control cycling deck that uses like the shark thing as well.
Wait,
like
the Sharknado card.
Jeskai Fires, actually. That's literally just Jeskai Fires. And then you use your mana to cycle.
Wow, we
first.
just described the top tier deck in the format. We're really good at this.
Yeah.
Good work,
We just
guys.
invented
We're
standard.
great. Wow, guys, we just designed the best deck ever. It's been good for 2 years.
Just imagine being told like 10 years ago that the best deck in standard was going to have Sharknado inside of it.
Amazing.
It's actually called Shark Typhoon.
Well,
Excuse me.
it's playing against a lot of Godzillas.
Okay, it's Sharknado, but they're not going to get sued.
Do you think
Yeah.
if Thragtusk was printed today, it would be busted in standard?
No.
Ooh, no, well, no, not
No.
standard. No. I was
No,
thinking
there's
it's
much
because
more
of-
powerful.
You know,
Like,
I was thinking
Actually,
because
okay,
of Astral
there's a
Slide
fair
being-
argument that whatchamacallit, there's the new enchantment that's an Astral Drift.
Yes,
pretty
that's
much.
what I was thinking of. It would be very
Looping
powerful with
Astral.
that.
Do you think you would see standard play though?
Yes.
Actually, now that I should build an Elementals deck that just flickers on that than Risen Reef.
There's a lot of new elementals too, and they mutate.
That new
I-
elemental
And when you
I already
mutate
have an
them,
elemental
and then
deck.
you flicker them, they come back separately. So that's double triggers.
I like how
You
mutate
on a
was
Risen
like
Reef, flicker it. They enter
Mutate is
together,
very
they
mechanically satisfying.
triggers.
I think it's so funny how like badly people like looked at like the Ikoria cards. They were like, mutate nuts. Companion sucks. It's too specific. And then like companion just destruction. Mutate sees zero play anywhere. Like
Mutate's so much fun and
I have one
rapid.
copy of Illuna inside of my standard deck, but that's just because it's
Mutate
a
is
legendary. It's
horrible.
also an
Like,
elemental.
it sees zero play.
I
I like it. It's
I
better
feel
than I
like
thought it was. initially.
Snapdax is underrated in standard. Snapdax seems
Is that the deal 4 one?
yeah. It's
Yeah.
the like what's it called? Siege Rhino-esque card that's also got double strike.
I still
But
want
it's
to build
not
Nethrang
Siege Rhino.
Commander.
A 4-mana 3/5 double strike alone is very good.
I think in standard mutate
Oh.
decks aren't going to be busted, but I think that it's correct to throw maybe a couple mutate cards in your deck.
Yes, I don't think there's going to be
Yeah.
any decks that revolve strictly around mutate. There's definitely going to be decks that have mutate cards, like Dirgebat. That's going to see a lot of play.
Is
The
that the sacker
Octopus,
creature one?
yeah.
I
No, it's the
I like-
destroy a creature or planeswalker.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
The
I really like the
Mutate's really good limited at least.
Oh,
yeah,
mutate's
Parcel
nuts
Beast,
in
wow.
limited. Ikoria
I love
Limited is
Parts
great.
of Beast.
we're getting
love Ikoria
super off
Limited.
topic right now.
I'm
Cycle-
so sad
Cycle is
Ikoria
best
pre-release was
in
canceled.
limited.
I know.
I feel like if we don't wrap something up soon, the video's gonna be like 3 hours.
It's already like
Yeah,
3 hours.
I think we're already at like 2 hours, 2.5 maybe.
Easily.
Keep it going. 12-hour stream.
We're not even streaming.
Comment down
We're gonna
below
do
if you
one of
want
those for
CJ to
charity
do a
at some point.
24-hour stream.
We could do that at some point. Do like a 12 or 24-hour charity stream or something along
That'd
those
be-
lines.
Ooh.
Once he gets enough
We
followers.
could be doing Commander Cube for part of it. We can just throw in a bunch.
Yeah, just one session of Commander Cube should do it, I think.
24-hour cube
The
night.
draft takes 3 hours. The gameplay takes another 3 or 4.
Over the summer, we'll do a 24-hour cube night.
That'd be fun. Stream it all. Would you guys
Just like
watch that?
spin a
Comment down
wheel
below.
full of different formats.
Yeah.
That sounds lit. Super lit.
We're gonna play Judge Tower now, and everyone just dies.
I've
Hey
got
guys,
a
we're playing
recorded
Penny
video of
Dreadful
Judge's Tower that I have not edited yet, and it's just me and Ryan playing Judge's Tower. It's just
You have a video from Judge Tower?
yeah, it's old too. Like I've had this for, I just haven't had the time to edit it, or like
How do you
I don't
edit
think
that?
I'm saving a lot of things. I'm saving it for something. I don't know what.
That sounds like too much work to edit that.
Yeah, I mean I'm just gonna be putting in the cards.
We
But
should
yeah.
probably wrap it up soon.
Yeah. We're gonna call it, guys. So this is our discussion on the commander ban list. We may have gotten off topic a little bit here.
Yell at us in the comments if we're bad.
Yell us in the
Mhm.
comments.
Get some cool
maybe
ideas
the
though for
parts.
the future.
CJ do some nice editing to make sure you don't get rambled on. I guess.
No, I definitely won't because that requires way too much. It's gonna be the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna edit in
Unedited.
the
Shit,
cards.
uncut. Yeah.
I'm just gonna edit in the cards.
Uncut.
If you
Do we have
guys
a bloopers
enjoyed
reel?
this video, please remember to comment down below. Comment what your opinions are on the ban list. If you think we are insane for unbanning a certain card or dumb for not unbanning a certain card, tell us.
Some guy in the comments be like, "Wow, they have brain damage. Wow, they unban this card."
Brain dead idiots. Morons.
anything.
Unsub.
And whatever
Is that the name of the
questions you
segment
guys-
now? Just brain dead, and there's just a flatlining dot across the screen.
That's a thumbnail.
Whatever we said that we wanted you to answer questions for in the video, I don't remember what we were asking for you guys to comment down below before. If you want us to draft ice cream or whatever, let us know. Let us
Ooh, ice
know.
cream tier
Ask us-
list.
Ask us about the ice cream meta.
Ooh, Ice cream
Is
meta.
frozen yogurt tiered?
Ooh.
Ooh.
What about
Gelato?
gelato? Yeah.
Frozen yogurt.
Like this video. Subscribe to
Go-gurt?
the channel. Check us out on Twitch because we're streaming sometimes. Check us out on Patreon if you really want to support the channel. And Twitter if you want to catch the news that I got. All that's going to be linked down below. And we will see you guys next time.
Have a beautiful time.
Thank you.
Peace out,
Have
everybody.
a good one.